The following is a presentation of TBS Sports.
Black cars. Black cars. Black cars. Is there no hope?
Hope? Of course there's hope. I wouldn't be here right now if it wasn't for hope. Hope I'm going to win this race today.
There's always hope. Look at this. The sun is coming out at Pocono, so you know there's hope.
A 100,000 people ready to pack their way into Pocono International Raceway for another afternoon of Winston Cup stock car racing. A beautiful day for racing. Great to have you with us on TBS Sports. Welcome to our exclusive live coverage of the Miller Genuine Draft 500. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Rick Benjamin in the STP Pit Communications Center. 42 drivers have all sorts of hope this afternoon because Pocono is a place that really helps you roll the dice as a driver. It deals different hands to different drivers from different times when we come here to run. These drivers were just here a few weeks ago. Many of them have found they needed new combinations to excel here this afternoon. Lots of stories to bring you here today on TBS, and it's great to have you with us. One of the drivers whose roll of the dice came up perfectly so far, standing by with our Dick Berggren on pit road.
And Jeff Bodine isn't just on the pole in the last practice yesterday afternoon. He was a half a second faster than those fearsome black cars. But how about it? How about the end of the race? Can you still be up front?
Well, we're going to try to be. That's what's important. It doesn't matter how fast you qualify or how fast you run in practice, how fast you run that last lap of the race. And the car, we have confidence in the car, the tires, the whole setup. So we're looking for a good race. Got to say hi to Kathy, Matt, and Barry back home. I love you guys.
Working pit road with me today is Randy Pemberton. Randy?
Thank you, Dick Berggren. I'm on the outside of row one. This is where Ward Burton sits. This is a guy that could use some luck. In his last 7 starts, his best finish is 31st after running well in some of these races. Ward, can you turn your luck around today, stay up front all day, possibly even win this thing?
Man, I'd like to think so. The hardest car, my team did a good job for me qualifying Friday. We had changed the car quite a bit yesterday because we were blistering right rear tires, so it's going to be kind of iffy, see how we are, but we'll keep on working with it, and hopefully we can have some luck and the cars stay together and stay out of wrecks and be there at the end of the race.
Okay, good luck, Ward. And somebody that's had a little bit better luck than Ward so far this year is standing by with Dick Berggren.
Bernie Irvin, you're starting 5th. You ought to have a big smile, but you've had some problems with the car.
Yeah, the car hadn't really drove as good as we'd like, and we hope we got her dialed in. Larry's done a lot of work on it, and I have all the faith in the world in him. I want to say hi to Kim and Jordan, and especially to a real good friend of ours at Texaco that got injured, Ken Schaefer. We're looking for you, Ken, once you get back here.
2 more members of our broadcast team we want you to meet today. One you're familiar with, one you're not familiar with in this role. We'll show you him in just a moment, but you might have seen this fellow's latest and greatest hit last night.
Heavy damage on the right front corner of that car, and it is leaking fluid. I've seen Kenny take his helmet
Kenny
off.
Wallace wound up in the wall last night. Kenny?
Well, thank you, guys. You know, one thing we're going to report on here, you know, historically, Pocono is a gas mileage racetrack. What we're going to be paying attention to are people like Dale Jarrett, Kenny Schrader, Darrell Waltrip, and Harry Gant. You got to watch for these guys.
All right, Kenny Wallace, and standing by with us today in the STP Pit Communications Center, a guy we're more used to seeing behind the wheel, but it's good to have Chuck Bound here.
Thank you, Gary. Pleasure to be here.
Now, a few weeks ago, you ran in this race, and this track bit you. That's why you're here today with an injured foot, injured hand. This track has changed a lot.
It really has. This is 5 weeks later. It's hotter. They've run 3 preliminary races already. It's going to be slick. And the slick track experts, Dale Earnhardt and Randy's with him.
Well, Dale Earnhardt's going to start 20th today, and the question is going to be to you, Dale, what has changed from 5 weeks ago with your race car and this racetrack here?
Well, a lot of luck and consistency, hopefully. We ended up second here in the spring race, so, you know, we're racing real hard for those points, and we're starting 20th, which we're not a good qualifier here at Pocono for some reason, but we feel like our chances are good after practice. We feel like we can run with most of the cars. The tire situation is going to be interesting to see what happens there at the first of the race, but I feel like we can beat the cars I'm racing and see what happens.
Okay, Dick Berggren's over with Rusty Wallace.
And he won the last race here at Pocono, and he won it in his car. But, Rusty, you're not on the pole today. Could you do it?
Well, I hope so. I think we've got a really good car.
It's the same car I had here last time. Nothing's been changed. The weather's pretty close. It's just the Hoosier tires, they got a real sticky tire for qualifying, and they've out-qualified us, but this tire's Goodyears are really racing well, so I got a feeling those things are going to tear up. We'll see what happens.
Okay, now let's go to championship crew chief Barry Dotson and the voice of big-time stock car racing, Ken Squire.
Well, thank you very much, and it's a great pleasure to have one of the best boss wrenches in the game. He's had cars win here with Tim Richmond and Cale Yarborough and Richard Petty over the years, Barry Dotson alongside. Barry, usually you come here and you talk about fuel. Back here in 90, we saw Jeff Bodine win on fuel. Darrell did it in 92, and Harry Gant came right along with him. But that's not the issue here today. We got a real old-fashioned tire war.
We got a real old-fashioned tire war. We got a couple of races going on. We're just past the midway point, the race for the Winston Cup title. And talk about a tire war, it's really heated up here. The Hoosiers are blazing hot, and they're blazing fast.
Yes, indeed. They have the front two rows all locked up, the Burton brothers, Sachs, and, of course, Jeff Bodine up there on the point. As we get ready to go, 11 cars on Hoosier tires. They've all qualified well. And meanwhile, those Goodyear guys, you're saying that it's a little like the tortoise and the hare kind of story here today.
Could be the tortoise and the hare. We're just going to have to wait and see how it falls.
And we know who the tortoise is, and the hare for sure are those Hoosier cars. Let's get the command to get this one going. Genuine Draft 500 from Pocono.
The Miller Genuine Draft 500 is brought to you by Budweiser. Beach with age for a clean, crisp, classic taste. By Chevrolet. Value you can depend on. Genuine Chevrolet. By Castrol GTX. Engineered for today's smaller cars. By Napa Auto Parts, because there are no unimportant parts. And by the Home Depot, proud sponsor of the 1996 Olympics.
It is a perfect day for a race here at Pocono, Pennsylvania, on this 2.5-mile tri-oval from the Advanced Auto Parts aerial platform. A view of this packed capacity infield, plus a little wildlife. Had a couple of deer out there running around this morning. But here are the deer we're going to be following. The fleet and fast Winston Cup cars coming out 42 strong for this $1 million race. And let's take a look at the starting lineup. Here's your Haviland starting grid. On the pole, it's Jeff Bodine's Ford, the 1990 winner of this event. Alongside is Ward Burton, his best start ever for the freshman from Virginia. In row 2, it's Greg Sachs from New York, and Jeff Burton is there, the younger of the Burton brothers. Going to row 3 for today's competition, there's Ernie Irvin. 9th time this year, he started in the top 5, and winner last week at New Hampshire, Ricky Rudd's alongside. For row 4 today, you have Jeff Gordon, winner of the Coca-Cola 600 earlier this year, and Loy Allen. In row 5, it's Ken Schrader looking for his first win since '91, and Rusty Wallace, the winner here back in June. For row 6, you have Joe Nemechek, the freshman from Florida, looking good. And beside him, looking for his first win of the year, comes Mark Martin. In row 7 today, it's Bobby Labonte, the sophomore from Texas, and flanking him will be Brett Bodine in car number 26, one of the 3 Bodine brothers in today's event. Row 8 is Harry Gant in his final performance here at Pocono. Beside him, Bobby Hamilton, veteran from Tennessee. In row 9, it's Dale Jarrett, won last year's Daytona 500, and Sterling Marlin is there, this year's Daytona 500 winner. For row 10, Bill Elliott, 4-time winner here at Pocono. And the man everybody's talking about, the current point leader, Dale Earnhardt. For the rest of the field, in row 11, it's Wally Dallenbach in the Richard Petty car, and Billy Stanbridge with a great performance. Row 12 is Jeremy Mayfield with his new ride for Cale Yarborough and Rick Nash. Row 13 is Mike Wallace and Darrell Waltrip, another 4-time winner here at Pocono. Row 14 is Derek Cope and Terry Labonte. Row 15, Tim Steele, driving the Bobby Allison car today, and Bob Schack, 6-time winner in ARCA on this track. In row 16 is Todd Bodine and Ted Musgrave. Row 17, Morgan Shepherd and Dave Marcus. Row 18 today is Hut Strickland and John Andretti. Row 19, Kyle Petty, who won here in June of '93, and Rich Bickle. Row 20 is Steve Grissom and Lake Speed. Rounding out the field, provisional starters Michael Waltrip, currently 8th in points, and Jimmy Spencer with a provisional start after he crashed his car on the first day of practice, and a winner just 2 weeks ago at Daytona. In-car cameras. First with DW, Darrell Waltrip's number 17. And Rusty Wallace giving you these pictures from 10th position. Field on the Long Pond straightaway. 3,000 feet up to the tunnel turn. Banked 8 degrees. Tricky. That's where you can make it or break it. And a lot of them have broken it here in what we've seen earlier this year. Now let's go inside Mike Wallace's Heilig Myers car number 90. That's from the 25th position. Into that short chute of 1,780 feet that then lurks that big turn 3 area. Just about flat, 6 degrees. That's the one you've got to hit dead on to get yourself perfect. This long front straightaway of 3,700 feet. Chevrolet track description for this course as the field comes out of 3. Getting ready to go racing. 2.5-mile course. Settling down for the start. There you see the length of the straightaways. Field coming up. Jeff Bodine brings them down from the pole, who he qualified at 163.8. Trying to jump out in front, Ward Burton. Bodine right back after him. Down into the 14-degree banking of turn number 1. And into the Long Pond straightaway for the first time this afternoon with Ward Burton showing in first place. Jeff Bodine in second, Jeff Burton in third, Greg Sachs in fourth. So you have those Hoosier shod cars in the front 4 positions, Barry.
Yes, you do. They're going to be awful strong here. Those cars are up to 1 second quicker. I don't know how long it'll last.
Estimate, 10, 15, 20 laps?
I would say 12 to 15 laps. You might see a problem here from what I saw in the last practice yesterday. We'll have to wait and see.
Coming around, here's Ward Burton, who has never led a Winston Cup lap, getting one. The pride of South Boston, Virginia. What a race they had there last night. Ward Burton coming down, leading the field. Take a look at Earnhardt here in number 3 with Sterling Marlin on the outside. Sterling loose there for just a moment. In turn 1 and still loose. Dale Jarrett getting up underneath him. Hamilton on the outside of Earnhardt. Little bumping here, they say. Right up the middle. Earnhardt looking for some room. Tight running going into that corner and making it. Coming around to complete lap number 2. As they come up, 31, Ward Burton in front. Bodine in number 7 in second. There you see that second Burton brother right there holding on to third. Greg Sachs back a little. Challenge for the lead. Bodine, the 1990 winner, down to the bottom of the racetrack and going back for the lead. And the younger of the Burton brothers scoots right up through and takes second place. Four-car length advantage for Bodine. Further back in the field now. Take a look, and we'll watch Jimmy Spencer for a moment. He comes rambling out of the back. This ought to be an event for the style of Jimmy Spencer. You know how he likes to dig and gouge up through the field. Here he is from dead last. He was very upset with himself for throwing away a car which he thought had the potential to win it all. Junior Johnson, very stoic about the matter. Had breakfast with him this morning over in the truck. Junior was saying, hey, had the same problem with Leroy and with Cale. Remember those great days with them. So he still has a lot of faith in Spencer as he wheels this car around Dave Marcus. 3 laps complete. Back up front another time. And here's another challenge. The Burton boys going at it. This is Jeff, current Rookie of the Year leader. And you're on board with Jeff Bodine as he slices it down, holds that Excite batteries forward on the inside, wheels it out, coming down into this very flat, wide, difficult third turn. Very not much place to be wrong here. If you get it at all wrong, you're all mixed up with this long straightaway.
You sure will be. You can't lose your momentum coming out of the tunnel. If you do, there goes your speed in turn 3. That's what's wrong with Ward. His car looks a little tight right now. Good start of today's race. 42, Kyle Petty is on the move. He's moving up. Greg Sachs making a shot on the inside, taking over in third. The white number 77, the U.S. Air car. Greg Sachs into third place. And look at Ernie Irvin pulling alongside. Ward Burton in the 31. That's horsepower. Robert Yates really put him together and get some power to the ground. And with him comes Ricky Rudd into 5th in car 10. That's some more horsepower.
Hey guys, Ward Burton's crew chief just came over the radio and asked Ward just to take it easy right now. We've got 500 miles to go here. They want to take it easy on the Hoosiers right now and make sure they get a chance to get them off the car after the first pit stop and take a look at them. I think that's a good idea, Barry, don't you?
It certainly is. You know, in the years past when we had the tire war going on, we took the Hoosiers off if they made it, and we took the water hose to them. You might see some of that.
Now, those Hoosier tires, those right sides, they're the ones that are heating up and could be a problem for them.
Yeah, because you got one more corner here. You're really abusing them. I saw some temps yesterday, 270, 290 range, and they just won't take it.
How much heat in those tires, that right rear? 280?
280 when it pulls in. It's probably the 300-degree range out there running.
Whoa. Now look at Earnhardt coming along up through in car number 3. He is, well, we're back to the leader. You got a lead change another time. Here's Jeff Burton. Getting right down on side of Jeff Bodine as they continue that struggle in the lead.
Great number.
Most of the drivers on Hoosiers have blistered at least one tire. Some of them have blistered several. Jeff Bodine says he's blistered none. The Goodyear people told me this morning they had seen one he has blistered. The most important thing Jeff Bodine says he has got to do today is to finish this race. He has been very fast most races, but he has failed to finish 8 of the races. That's half the races he started in 1994. He said he's going to run conservatively. He wants to be around at the end.
So Bodine stays right there, eases back a little on the trigger, keeps it in second spot. Meanwhile, Jeff Burton has the advantage in the car number 8 and keeps the Stavola brothers colors flying. And there you see Greg Sachs having an excellent day. Look at Earnhardt as he comes to the bottom and goes under Jeff Gordon. Back there in the 11th spot. Earnhardt fighting his way up into 12th, now getting 11th. So Earnhardt is on a roll. Remember, he started in 20th position. We've completed 7 laps. Ernie Irvin seems to stick on the bottom as well as anybody in here, Barry.
His car looks awfully good right now, much better than in the final practice. The car that looked good yesterday afternoon was the car you've been watching march to the front, Dale Earnhardt.
And he's still on that march. Still whipping on everybody out there as he tries to bring that car back up. He took over the point lead a week ago from Ernie Irvin, and Irvin scrapping. Oh, we got one on the wall. It's Grissom in the 29 slapping the wall. He'll bring out the first caution as they come around to complete lap number 8.
They'll be glad to see it.
Turn 1. Steve Grissom out of Alabama. Racing back to the flag. Here they come, down to the flag.
as they come to the stripe. It will be Burton in first, Bodine in second, Greg Sachs in third. We'll be back with more of the story in a moment. Caution when Grissom crashed in turn number 1. He's brought the car around, but in the pits, and so have some others, like Jeff Gordon that you see here. Michael Waltrip has come in. He was running in 33rd at the time of that incident. And there is Darrell Waltrip in, and as far as you're concerned out here, when you see him in right now, that's the mark of what this race can become.
He's already looking for a window as far as fuel mileage goes. He wasn't that close to the front, and it's a good time to do it.
Barry Dotson alongside today, and he was saying to me when we were in commercial, as you're looking at the Hoosier guys checking the tires out here, that as you saw Waltrip made that move in the 9th lap, it could come back to a fuel contest. Here's Randy.
Well, everybody's looking at him. There's guys from Joe Nemechek's team over here looking at the tires that came off of Greg Sachs's car. I would have thought the Hoosier guys would have come in and changed tires to take a good look at them, but only Greg Sachs's team did change 4. And boy, there's a huddle of a bunch of different crews that are wearing Hoosier tires on their cars today, all checking out the tire temps here.
Well, we're ready to take a look again at what happened to Grissom in turn number 1. Let's get Chuck Bound in here for a moment. And Chuck, you've had some hard moments down here in this first and second turn area of this racetrack. Probably no one can relate better what can happen to someone when the car gets loose. Chuck, what do you think of this one here as you see the 29?
Well, Ken, it's really hard to tell if the 30 car got into the 29 or not. That corner's fast enough that if you just get up tight and don't actually touch him, you can take air off the rear spoiler. It'll make the car get real loose with you. But Steve was fortunate. His car started to spin, and it kind of tried to straighten back up, and he hit the wall with the right side of the car. And that's the side you want to hit it with. You don't want to mess around with that driver's side like I did.
Broken foot, broken hand, hurt your head. How are you feeling these days?
Well, I'm really feeling good, Ken. In fact, I felt good right along, but I have had a little bit of trouble with my vision. I've been in a race car a couple of times, and at high speed with the G-forces and stuff, getting a little bit of double vision in the corners, but I feel good. I haven't really had any dizziness or headaches or memory loss, but I just got a couple broken bones there, minor incidents. I'm not worried about them, but just as soon as these eyes are 100%, I hope to be back out there and you know, be racing to win.
And everybody hopes to see you there. All right, 10 laps are complete. Let's go to Kenny Wallace.
Steve, early in the race, you've just been real consistent. Can you tell us what happened out there?
Well, it's just one of those situations that, you know, it gets kind of tight getting into turn 1, and several cars trying to go for the same place. And we just come out on the short end of it. But I tell you, these guys are working hard. They get the car back, and we can get back out and run as much as we can.
Okay, Steve. Well, it's early in the race, and as Chuck Bound alluded to, turn 1 gets awful rough, guys. So we'll be down here in the garage area all day long to hopefully there'll be no more victims.
Well, thank you, Kenny. Bad day for Steve Grissom, the Alabama gang. Take a look at the top 6 out here right now. Jeff Burton, Jeff Bodine, Ernie Irvins pulled up to 3rd. There you see Ricky Rudd in 4th, Ward Burton in 5th, and Rusty Wallace in 6th. That's after 10 of the 200 laps have been completed here today. Should be getting a green in about another lap and get us back on our way after the first incident of the afternoon. On board right now in the Miller Genuine Draft car, number 2 of Rusty Wallace. Off to a nice, easy start is car number 2. Easy 6th place out there. Pretty well positioned.
Yeah, he's right where he wants to be. I think the Hoosier cars are taking it easy right now. And a good indication of that is because they didn't pit except for one car. Rusty's got an excellent car. He's riding midnight. He ran it up here last time. He told me this morning he's had it on jack stands, and that's about it.
Hasn't run since it was here?
Here last time.
Down for a start. 11 complete. And scooting out in front goes Jeff Burton with Jeff Bodine in 2nd. Ernie Irvin 3rd. Ricky Rudd 4th. Ward Burton, Rusty Wallace, Nemechek, Schrader back there in 8th. Mark Martin 9th. And Gant up to 10th. On board with Rusty Wallace now. Closing in on Ward Burton at number 31. Long Pond straightaway.
Yeah, he is. He's sitting out, like I say, he's where he wants to be. Ward's awfully strong, too, down the straightaway, but Rusty's good all the way around this racetrack.
Into the tunnel turn.
He'll really make some time over there. I watched him practice the other day. He was the best car over the tunnel by far.
What makes you the best car in that part of the racetrack?
A lot of bravery. You have to bring the car in high, drive across the bottom so the car won't push coming off there, and keep the momentum to get you down the front straightaway.
Now here comes that old fairgrounds turn, that wide open, big, arching third turn that brings you down into the main straightaway, where it's Burton, Bodine, Urban, Rudd, and Ward Burton. And you saw from the other side those good pictures from Rusty Wallace of those leaders. Now here they are in perspective back down into turn number 1 with 12 laps complete.
Yeah, Ernie's wanting to lead.
So as you have it right now, you've got a couple of Hoosier cars, and here comes Urban down to the inside. We were just saying he wanted to lead.
Yeah.
Saved his shot for going into that tunnel turn. And here's Ernie Urban pulling up, and Ricky Rudd coming with him. That's Rudd going to third place. Jeff Bodine falls to fourth. Ward Burton back in fifth. Jeff Burton in the lead with the Stavola number 8. Jeff Burton, do you think there's hope in beating those black cars today?
Well, there's hope. If it wasn't, I wouldn't be here. It's not going to be easy, and it's not supposed to be easy. You know, Jimmy has been doing it for 4 or 5 years, you know, and he's learned a lot. And you know, that's what it takes. You can't just do it overnight. And that's what we're working toward. We're trying to build something that we're 2 and 3 years down the road, we can consistently run up front.
So, at this moment, Jeff Burton, number 8, commands this race, and he's doing it in a very authoritative manner in the Ray-Bestis T-Bird. But right behind that Hoosier shod car comes Ernie Urban, and he looks like he's headed for first place.
Ernie's on the move. The thing is, I saw going in the tunnel that time, Jeff Burton got a little bit loose, so those tires are hot.
Here's Urban, 3 car lengths back, Bodine staying right with him. Bodine, a very savvy driver when it comes to these fuel runs, as he proved in 90. Maybe willing not to turn the thing up quite that much at the beginning here. Let Burton lead for a while. Urban go after him. Okay, here comes Bodine right back on bottom, and you're right with him as he works the inside. How fast are you there?
Oh, you go in the corner, 190 something right there. Like Chuck was talking about, it's not hard to get your car upset when you're in traffic.
Jeff Bodine maintaining third position. And again into the tunnel turn. Right down to the bottom.
Yeah, Burton looked better that time.
And you can see the advantage. Pulled out a couple of car lengths there.
Excellent young talent.
Now look at this scrap. Bodine working on the inside of Ernie Urban. Into the long straightaway, 3,700 feet, and you really build up to speed, and you can see the horsepower in that Robert Yates car going to work, trying to pull him in front of that other Ford. Jeff Bodine willing to get back in line for a moment. Let Ernie Urban go up there and see what he can do with Jeff Burton.
Yeah, Ricky and Rusty just sitting there watching.
Looks like Wallace might want to cut in. Here's a look from inside the Exide Batteries car of Jeff Bodine, working lap 16. Got a report that the turn 2 area of the track might be getting a little loose. You had that problem in Michigan earlier this year with the temperatures. Had it for sure at Dover, and a big problem at Loudon last week. 18 cautions up there, rolling cars up into the wall, and they say that turn 2 area needs to be watched.
Yeah, as good as these tires are, that's what these racetracks are faced with right now. Both Goodyear and Hoosier are excellent, and they just basically rip up the pavement.
They get a hole, and they don't let go.
They get a hole, and they don't let go.
Throw that aggregate right out of there. Great picture showing you Jeff Bodine back in third spot, working on the rear end of Ernie Urban's car number 28. From that Advanced Autos aerial platform. Nice view of that tunnel turn. Urban closing it up again. See a little inconsistency in the laps on the leader, Jeff Burton here?
A little bit. He had more daylight a lap ago than he's got right now. He's got a little bit of problem over the tunnel from what I can see.
But in this straightaway, he pulls away about 6 car lengths from Urban and Bodine. Look a little further back at this jam session.
Yeah, you got Greg Sachs. He came in. He's hungry to get up front. He's got fresher tires. And talk about black cars on the move. Look at Kyle Petty.
Yeah, the 42 car of Kyle Petty is flying. He's up to 19th position. And Morgan Shepherd is up to 18th just in front of him after starting 33rd. Back with those leaders again. On board with Rusty Wallace. Boy, he's got a handful there.
Yeah, he can handle it. That's the difference.
So the leader continues to be Jeff Burton. Rusty Wallace is riding with him, flanked in 3rd spot, working on Jeff Bodine here in lap number 19 of the Miller 500. At Pocono International Raceway in lap 19, Franklin, Wisconsin's Ted Musgrave had a meeting with the wall in turn 3 that is shortened up. Car number 16. Take a look at the back end. Let's see what happened up here in that 3rd turn area. Just behind Todd Bodine. Looked like Terry Labonte was lucky to get through there, and he slams it into the wall just when things were beginning to get straightened out for him. Got himself a new crew chief. Robin Pemberton came back with that group, and he was 9th in points coming into this race. Really looking forward to the second half of the season. That's going to hurt.
That's going to hurt. That almost looks terminal right there. I'm sure as early as it is in the race, they'll try to get him back out.
And he picked up a couple of spots, and for the first time, the Roush folks had 2 cars in the top 10 in points. Now take a look at the traffic coming onto pit road. The pace truck stays out, and everybody else is in the pits, and let's go down there with Dick Bergman.
Jeff Bodine pulls his car in. They were originally going to go with new tires, but they're going to put scuffs on instead. And the scuffs are what you ordinarily would use if you're afraid your tires are heating up too much. Jeff only has 2 sets of scuffs. That's all he's got, and he's about to use one of them right now. They got the right sides changed. Left side's about ready to go on. Good stop for Jeff Bodine. 21.3, and Jeff Burton takes off right behind him.
At McDonald's quick pit update, and look at that madhouse on pit road at lap 21. It's just about the place you called it, where they would want one if they could have it. Certainly didn't want to call it for what happened to Ted Musgrave.
Yeah, it's a good time to get a fuel reading. That's half a stop, and even a really big break for the Hoosier cars to get a look at their tires.
Let's go down to Randy Pembroke.
Well, it was scuffs for the Hoosier wearing Ward Burton as well. They put scuffs on that car. As far as Dale Earnhardt, who would come up through the field nicely, 4 stickers for the Goodyear wearing Dale Earnhardt team.
The Waltrip car, number 17, was running about half a lap behind, running very slowly out there.
Way back, I don't know what the problem was. They're still in the pits right now. Looked like some repair work at the top of the roof.
Well, when they came around before, they had fallen back just as if he had the motor go off, and it slid way back.
Well, no, here short.
We'll try to get a report on that very shortly. Let's go down to Rick Benjamin in the STP Pit Center.
Well, Ken, these drivers only 21 laps in today. They've got 179 circuits to go as we check our MasterCard race analysis. Big purse up here at Pocono. More than $926,000 today for these 42 drivers. Race record goes back a long way, 16 seasons to Darrell Waltrip at 78, 142.5 miles an hour. Drivers today, a 65-mile-an-hour speed limit here on pit road.
When Jeff Gordon came in, only a couple of tires were put on the 24 car. Let's go quickly to Kenny Wallace.
Okay, guys, we're here with Teddy Musgrave. Ted, you guys were just getting settled in. Can you tell us what happened?
Yeah, pretty early in the race. You know, everybody was just sorting their cars out, you know, and we were in single file going into 3, and a guy up front checked up a little bit, and everybody just kind of went in a little slow, but last car in line, was Derek. He must not have noticed that we were slowing down, and flat ran in the back of us, turned us around, and, you know, put us out for the day. I can't understand why he just didn't look a little further ahead.
Well, Ted, this Family Channel Ford's been running good all year long. You're 9th in the points right now, and hopefully you guys can get it back out, you think?
Yeah, you know, that's the shame of it. You know, Pocono's always been a good racetrack for us, and the car's running good. You know, we qualified a little bad because it was my fault slip, but the car was excellent. You know, we were going to have a good day except for that happened, and we'll come back. You know, we just don't want to fall out of the top 10 in points.
Well, thanks a lot, Ted. You know, Ted Musgrave has got a lot of top 5s here, I think, if you look back in the history books, so we'll just see if we can get the car back out, guys.
At one of his greatest days, he's had 3 top 5 finishes in his career, and one of them was here You saw Jeff Burton coming out, just rolling back onto the track after making a late pit stop. Dick Berger, and what's happening with Darrell Waltrip?
Well, why don't we ask Clyde Booth, who's the team manager. Clyde, what is wrong with the car?
Well, we're not really sure. We think it's got a shock absorber gone in the rear. The thing is bouncing all over, and we aren't sure, but we certainly can't change the shock right now. We're just going to have to see if we can get it to hang on until we can get a little further on the race here, and we'll get something done with it probably.
This is not the smoothest of racetracks, I'll guarantee you.
It is not one of the smoothest of races. It is a toughie, and it suffers through those hard old winters. Takes a little frost heave here and there. It's always a surprise when you come back, but it's dramatic how different the track is between just June and July.
Yes, it is. You know, we were overcast and cool up here in June, and all the preliminary races didn't get run. It was a pretty tight situation today. We got a lot of sunlight and a pretty slick racetrack.
So you're with the Adelco car now with Darrell Waltrip in number 17, trying to get something going today, and it sounds like he's having some big problems once again. Darrell Waltrip. Kenny Wallace, what's happening over in your section?
Okay, guys, we got a picture right now. This is, you know, this Family Channel car is running 9th in the points right now. Right now we have a view of the extensive work they're going to do on this car. The rear end, the 2x3 square tubing has bent clear down to the ground. It's dragging the ground. The jack is underneath the car right now. They're going to try to heat it up, pull this rear end back up, and these ever so important points race right now. If they can get this car back out there, that'll help him out down the road.
So we're back to racing, Kenny, and your brother is out in front. Ooh, Ricky Rudd getting moved over by Michael Waltrip a little. Rusty Wallace in first. First lap, Rusty has led since he won Michigan back a month ago. Look at this scramble. See Mark Martin in that other Roush car down to the inside on Michael Waltrip.
Michael probably got too tired. You see he's paying the price right now.
Down to the inside and under Michael Waltrip moves Mark Martin, Ricky Rudd, Earnhardt, Jarrett, Jeff Gordon. 11th spot back there where they're beginning to make their charge. Coming by this time to complete 24.
Very costly pit stop for the 8 car. We need to find out what happened.
Back up front, Ernie Irvin closes in on the number 2. While we were under caution, John Andretti, he came up and led a lap. That's his first lap that he's led in Winston Cup competition. Then he pitted, swapped it around again, putting Wallace on the point. There's Irvin in second. Brett Bodine, Jeff Bodine out here today, Todd Bodine, all the Bodine gang still in here fighting as we get through 25 laps, 62.5 miles next time through. Look at Ken Schrader coming to the inside, making that move and getting beneath Jimmy Spencer, winner at Daytona. Ooh, little wrap there, little love pat or something. And look at Brett Bodine scooting to the inside of Morgan Shepherd in 21 and then sliding back 2 positions.
His car pushed out. Jimmy must have got 2 tires also. Great racing.
12th position being shown. Car number 27, Schrader. So the rest are 13, 14, 15, about 8 cars in that bundle. So 25 laps are officially in the book as you watch Brett Bodine in the 26, showing as 14th. And here comes Kyle Petty down to the bottom. 3 wide, under Sterling Marlin, under Jimmy Spencer. Rick Mass coming along up through, and he's been running better of late. Got himself in 9th position again recently.
Yeah, he's on the Hoosier tires, and probably good news if they look good the first stop for everybody. If they did, I'm sure they'll all go racing. Sterling looking at Kyle there, see what he can do with him.
Remember in the last race here in June, it was, ooh, Sterling Marlin into the back of that number 42, Kyle Petty. Pulled him up just off the line for a moment, and there's Sterling back to the bottom. That's almost a replay of what happened in turn 1 with disastrous results for Chuck Bound back here in June. Sterling right on him. Just gave him a nudge and swapped ends on that car number 12 of the Bobby Allison team and sent it skittering up into that first turn wall.
Yeah, that could have been disastrous there. It's awful early to be racing that way, and a lot of cars back behind him, too.
Grissom has come back out of the pits in car number 29. Car number 8, Jeff Burton, had to make an extra pit stop during that last caution. That's put him back to 29th position. If you were wondering what happened to the Stavola Ray Bestas car.
I think they had to put some lug nuts on, is the way it looked from up here, or some damage maybe to the left front fender.
Kyle Petty, at the present time, in 17th position. Back with the leaders. Here's Ernie Irvan, striking for first place. Ernie Irvan on the bottom side, gets going. Ooh, look at Rusty Wallace work that wheel off that turn.
A little push right there. You saw him tugging on that wheel.
Car wants to run right up on top of that wall. Look at Jeff Bodine, and here comes Harry Gant. Harry Gant saying goodbye to Pocono. This is final year of Winston Cup racing, and he's giving it a run.
That's what I was talking about. They probably told him your tires look good, Harry. Go ahead and race.
Harry Gant in number 33, who had that great second place finish here in 1992 behind Darrell Waltrip. It was a gamble on fuel all the way to the finish. Gant has not led a single lap this year, but he's sure looking good right now here at Pocono. Mr. September, Harry Gant, right in the thick of it. Working the 28th lap with Ernie Irvan in front. Bodine into second, Gant in third, and Rusty Wallace falling to fourth and holding on. So he had an even swap on drivers this year. Jeremy Mayfield out of the 02 and into Kaylee Yarborough's number 98 for the Finger Hut folks. He's running in 28th position right now and giving you these pictures live from the Pocono International Raceway, where we're working lap number 30, 75 miles complete, with only one caution so far. And the Finger Hut folks saying, welcome, Jeremy, putting it right there on the race car. Back with the leaders. And notice who's come to second. Harry Gant is there and pressing. Harry is having a really remarkable run.
Yeah, this could be scary. There's a car that's running well and can get gas mileage also.
Savvy race driver, number 33. Hasn't much enjoyed his last year. Started 15th today, but now Gant in the 33, knocking on the door for the lead.
That's what.
Battle for fourth place. Mark Martin on the inside. Ernie Irvan with him, and Greg Sachs. And Ricky Rudd hanging around, as well as Earnhardt, point leader. Look at Rudd just scoot down the inside with some assistance from Earnhardt. Two-car draft. Looking very slippery up over the tunnel turn.
Dale's trying to make a move. The draft's effective here. A lot of people don't realize that, but you can use it.
Let's call Chuck Bound in here for a moment as you watch Harry Gant going for first place. I'm surprised Harry, and look at this run by Earnhardt getting down on the bottom. He tries to slide through again and comes back a couple of car positions. Doesn't want to use it up just yet. Gant running this hard this early. He's one of those guys who waits around for the last 100 miles. What do you think of this performance by Harry Gant this early, Chuck Bound?
Well, I'm not surprised. I'm sure Harry's got to be a little bit hungry. The kind of year he's had, it's been not the kind of year you want your final season to be, and I think the entire racing world would love to see Harry win one. And I tell you, he's looking like he has a good chance today. He really is.
How about it, Harry Gant? Do you have high hopes for winning today here at Pocono?
Oh, yeah, definitely do. We've won here a couple times, and you never know. Sometimes, we've been running way back, and all of a sudden everybody starts going slower, and you got to keep handling good all day long, and that's what we always try to do.
So here's Gant into second place. This at lap 33. Working on the rear deck of Jeff Bodine, your leader. Bodine continuing to look good. Won this race for Junior Johnson back in 90 when he defeated Bill Elliott in second that year, and Rusty wound up third. So Jeff Bodine, for the moment, stays in front. It's been a while since he's had a win. Sears Point in 93. Of course, he won that All-Star race in Charlotte back in May. One-point race. And over in Gant's pits, they're ecstatic about this. And he's going to bring one home.
Yeah, that's great to see Harry up there. The kind of year he's had, it's great. And he's trying. You can see he's driving that car hard.
Well, one of the great patrons of the game for many years. Lou Bandel, I'm sure he's watching this afternoon. He's got to be thrilled with us. He's been a big supporter, he and Hal Needham, for years of Harry Gant's efforts. How about this one? Here's Ricky Rudd back there and taking over 5th at the moment as he gets around Ernie Irvin. Greg Sachs still giving a good accounting for himself. The number 98 car, Jeremy Mayfield, on the pit road. Let's see what the story is here as he makes an unscheduled stop. This while they're working the 35th lap. The Cale Yarborough car is in.
I bet it's a side window. A guy ran around with a roll of tape. Got to have that side window. You can't run.
Here's Jeremy Mayfield coming out looking very anxious. Looks like they put him in the side plastic, and he's going a lap down as he comes back out. Ernie Irvin led a lap earlier. He's now led 15 of the 17 races this year and 11 in a row. Remember, he's been the point leader till we came here today. Earnhardt took it away from him in Loudon, New Hampshire just a week ago before a sold-out house. How do you like that Loudon track?
I love it. I didn't get to go this past race, but it's just beautiful country, a lot like it is here in Pocono, and a wonderful place to race. Cannot believe the turnout of race fans at both these places.
If you went to the Northwest, you get the same reception for Winston Cup racing. Wherever you go, these are the racers they want to see. Here's Jeff Bodine, still first, Gant is second, Wallace third, Mark Martin fourth, Rudd is up to 5th, Earnhardt to 6th. Following this battle for the lead, as Jeff Bodine tries to keep Harry Gant in tow. Look at Wallace back there.
Yeah, he's sitting there watching. He's in the catbird seat.
Hey, the guy in the catbird seat's that Mark Martin in that other Roush car.
He had a good final practice.
He had a great final practice yesterday. He looked as strong as anything out there. And Mark Martin's hungry, too. It's been a while since he's seen a checkered flag. 36 laps are on the board here. Looking further back in the field, Schrader is 10th, Morgan Shepherd 11th, Brett Bodine is 12th, Rick Mass 13th, Sterling is 14th, Nemechek, Kyle Petty 16th, Loy Allen in 17th. More shortly.
Promotional fees and consideration have been paid by Action Packed. Limited cards, unlimited action. By Auto Week, America's only enthusiast weekly. Auto Week is first with all the news every week. Call 1-800-851-2600 for your subscription. And by Delco Electronics, the world leader in automotive electronics. Welcome back to Pocono. We're working toward lap 40 here this afternoon. Jeff Bodine in the lead, but Chuck Bound, there's concern about what's happening on the racetrack over the tunnel. What's going on there?
Well, that's true, Rick. We understand the pavement's tearing up a little bit. I guess it's the warm weather and the fast pace. And I think what that really means is you want to get a good exit off of turn 1 so that the guy behind you is not able to drag race up beside you and force you out of the groove. You want to go through turn 2 on the bottom.
There's an area here where they have repaved a couple of times, and that evidently is where the asphalt's coming apart. We're told also in turn 1 there's a problem. And we look down in turn 1, and you can see down at the bottom of your screen where evidently the pavement is just pulling up. These tire compounds are so soft, it's just tearing the top layer of asphalt off.
Yeah, that's what happens. You know, they hold so good, and the cars are so fast that the asphalt just won't take it when we get to these warmer temperatures. It's just pretty common in the 1990s at Winston Cup stock car racing.
What does it do to you as a driver when that happens?
Well, you just try to be a little cautious. You keep your eye on where the stuff's piling up at and make sure you keep the right side tires out of that because it'll send you in the wall in a New York minute, as they say. You really got to be careful.
And you must remember they've had a lot of racing here. Back on Thursday, they ran a 150-mile ARCA race. They had a sportsman race. They came back with the same combination of events yesterday, plus all this qualifying. So you're getting up over 900 miles of competition and practice logged this week here at Pocono. That's a lot with the temperatures we've had, and they've been crackers. They've been right up for around 90, keep you plenty warm. That can bother any racetrack.
Well, and you probably had 6 or 8 different rubber compounds laid down there. If you get another look at that, I think you'll see it's pulling up some rubber off the racetrack as much as asphalt.
And what will that do? That won't matter quite as much. I think that the tear, the issue problem is over there in number 2. But when you get that much rubber laid down in that quick a time, you don't get it washed off. What's the result?
That's just debris. It makes it a little touch and go through there. Yeah, the asphalt's like walking on marble.
And if you roll on those marbles, you're going to find that outside big 5-foot wall. Second to third interval between the leaders here. And Gant now standing at 4 1/10 seconds. There you see it. Mark Martin in 4th. Earnhardt coming to you in 5th. Behind him is Ricky Rudd. And Greg Sachs in the 7th position. Ooh. Ernie Irvin climbing up on the back of car number 18 there for Dale Jarrett as they continue to struggle. We have, what, 40 cars still in that lead lap? Take that back. It's more like 38 right now in that lead lap. Cut it to 37 as car number 98 is being shown a lap down. Fingerhut car fails. So 38 cars still in the lead lap. We are at 42. 105 miles have been completed. We're watching Dale Jarrett, who is in 9th, Ernie Irvin in 10th, and here comes Rick Mast sailing down the inside and moving up a spot.
Ernie's got his hands full right there. It looked like the lap before when he was behind the 18. I tell you what, these Hoosier tires are checking out right now.
Look at Mast. Beside Dale Jarrett. 18 car on the outside. Joe Gibbs Racing Team. Down to the inside, Rick Mast in number 1. Sliding through for another spot, and that will put Rick Mast up into 9th.
See the grip he's getting right there? Driving away.
Those USQ cars looking pretty good out here today. Gant stays in 2nd, and now Rick Mast up in the top 10. Dale Jarrett looking for a good run. Tony Glover, the crew chief for Sterling Marlin, has been talking to his driver out there about the track conditions, and let's find out more about it.
What's Sterling telling you about the racetrack, Tony?
Well, he just said that it looked like it's starting to tear up a little bit in turn 1, and probably before the day's over, it's going to be torn up pretty good.
Well, that's the story, and you got it from one of the guys out there. Dick Bergman on the scene with Tony Glover, and that moment of glory in the Daytona 500. Here's Loy Allen's Hooters car coming at you. Loy having a good ride in the 14th position. Right behind him in 15th is Sterling Marlin.
Hoosier tires. They're laying that contact patch to the ground.
And you see here Sterling Marlin right with Sterling is coming the 31 car. Ward Burton, who had that great qualifying effort, just behind him. He really has to snap that wheel up there. And the Burton brothers are running nose to tail at this point. Here you see the 31 of Ward Burton 16th, and in 17th, Jeff Burton, as car number 12 comes onto pit road. Tim Steele.
Slowly.
Yeah, very slowly. Had a great run out here yesterday, and then just at the end got snookered. He's going to take the Bobby Allison car back to the garage area. Car number 12, Tim Steele. Had himself a great race. Is now out of this event after running on the tail end of the field. He was back in 36th position when he pulled it behind the wall. It's like Gant may get ready to give it a shot for first place. Kenny Wallace, what do you think? It seems amazing to me. Gant has always been one that has waited his time. I think this Pocono track is one he really likes. As he gets strong and he keeps on making those moves like he's ready to edge up and go by Bodine.
Ken, you know, I've been watching this race down here at the Family Channel truck on the TV monitors. You know what? One thing that is not surprising, Jeff Bodine and Harry Gant, they run good no matter what tire they run. If this tire is running this good right now, Harry, you know he feels comfortable because Harry's the old master, 52, 53 years old. And as Barry Dodson spoke of earlier, he's not going to chance nothing right now. They've let these guys go, and there's no telling what this 7 and 33 are going to do right now because, like I say, these guys run good on any tire. So I tell you, it looked pretty impressive. There's a long way to go right now, though.
So there you have it. Harry Gant and Jeff Bodine holding on to those Hoosiers and looking very good at this moment. First and second, and drawing away by more than 4 seconds from the rest of the field. Checking in on Darrell Waltrip's car for a moment. We can get give you an opportunity to check that Delco telemetry that's on board that car. Thought I saw a bit of smoke. There is Darrell Waltrip's car, and it looks like it is in trouble. He's dropped all the way down in the apron. We're going to go to that car. He went below the line for just a moment in car number 17. You can see the speed is well down. He's still out there, but there's something amiss on car 17.
Yeah, he's getting ready to go 2 laps down here. If it's a shock absorber, you can't fix that unless you come in, go behind the wall and do it, but he's just slow everywhere right now. I don't know what it could be.
Leaders going by him. And 2 laps down goes number 17. Had really hoped to have a good day in the Western Auto car, Delco Electronics. Those are not the kind of numbers he needs to stay up with his field.
That's about half the numbers you need to see. He's just having a tough time right now. He's having a tough day, especially when we've only run 47 laps. He's looking at being 2 down.
That makes it longer and hotter than anything in the world when you're running just that much off the pace, right, Barry?
That's exactly right. I've been on the Hoosier cars, and I just got on Rusty here. We'll see what the difference is.
Back to the leaders. Bodine and Gant, first and second, 48 laps complete in our live coverage of the Miller Genuine Draft 500 from Pocono, Pennsylvania.
Welcome back to Pocono International Raceway on TBS. 50 laps of today's Miller Genuine Draft 500 in the books. And Jeff Bodine has held command now for a good long time, but Harry Gant is chasing him. Gant about 4 car lengths behind as they come out onto the main straightaway at Pocono. Great to have you with us today in the STP Pit Communication Center. I'm joined by Neil Harrison of Miller Beer, the Vice President of Marketing. Neil, welcome. What does it mean to your company to have a title sponsorship of a major event like this?
Well, it means a lot, actually, because motorsports are a very important part of our overall marketing program. Miller Genuine Draft has been in motorsports now for over 8 years. And so to have a program like this where we can reach our consumers is exactly how we want to invest our money.
And you've got a great driver carrying your colors.
What can you say? Rusty Wallace has done a great job for us since we've been with him. 5 races, 5 wins so far this year. And it starts all the way at the top with Roger Penske, working the way down through Don Miller and, of course, Buddy Parrott keeps everyone in control in the pits.
And Rusty may have this one come to him before the day is out.
I'd love to present it to him.
Neil, thanks for being with us today. Continued good luck.
Thank you very much.
Rusty Wallace stays 3rd right now as we come to lap 51. And you're on board with him, and you can see he's got more than 4 seconds to make up on those 2 leaders as Jeff Bodine stays up in front. You saw the 2 leaders overwhelm Jimmy Spencer, the winner at Daytona. And that car 27 is the backup car. He crashed the car they had planned for here. And that number 27, running back in 35th position, is not what Spencer wanted before this Pennsylvania crowd, which very much is in favor of the 2-time modified champion. He is not running at the stride he would like to at this point at all. Bad day for Jimmy Spencer after that great day down in Florida in early July. I think we can show you what happened to him in that crash in practice right now. This was Jimmy 3 days ago, here at Pocono International Raceway. Just got it in there, trying for all he could, and all he could do was apologize to Junior Johnson about that one.
They just got away from him there. That was his qualifying run. And when you concentrate on your primary car so much at home and you plan on running that car, a lot of teams really don't have their backup car 100%. And right here, the way the racetrack is in this heat, it's a tough time to be using a backup.
Back on Friday, wiping out the 27 they had planned for the race, Jimmy Spencer. So now he has a long, hot afternoon as he tries to get something out of this event. Meanwhile, Jeff Bodine, who had a 3rd last week, we got our 2nd of the regular pit stops among those leaders. Here comes Schrader onto pit road. Ken Schrader eases on down. We saw Michael Waltrip in a few moments ago. He came in running in 26th position when the 30 pulled in. Now you see Ken Schrader, who is running 9th on the field. Roy Allen having a very good day, up to 12th, they're reporting at the present time. All the way around on car number 25 for Schrader.
Yeah, pretty good looking pit stop so far. It's about time for everybody else to be coming in. 20.7, not a bad stop.
Donald's pit update. Car number 25, Schrader, back underway.
Tell you what's going to get difficult here. As fast as these Hoosier cars are running, I was on Jeff Bodine. He's running 57.10. And I got on Rusty, he's running 57.90, 0.8 of a second. And they're gaining so much on them that these guys that come in and make a regular 4-tire stop, if the caution falls, they're really looking at getting a lap down here very easily.
Gant, a few laps ago, we thought saw a little smoke out of that car, and now they're reporting indeed there is some smoke off the back of car number 33. Incidentally, Ted Musgrave is back in the race after a 34-minute repair job on the back end of the Roush number 16. Dick Berger.
Well, Ken Squire, you're right. There is smoke coming out of the 33, and they've got rags piled up here. Cleaner, they're going to put some rags on the car, try to fix that, but they've got another problem, too. They've been hearing that the spoiler is loose, so here's a new spoiler that they're going to put on if they need it. Some more spoiler bolts. Gant may be running second, but boy, he has got a pile of trouble going for himself right now.
Rusty Wallace is on pit road. If there's one driver you want in your car when the car is not up to snuff, it's Harry Gant. Now here is Rusty Wallace ready for his pit stop as he comes in running in 5th position. Randy is there waiting on him.
Well, as much as about 10 laps ago, Rusty was complaining that the car was loose off of all 3 corners, and just about 1 lap ago, he said to Buddy Parrott, his crew chief, I think I may have a tire going down, so let's get it in. So right-hand side tire is already on. Of course, this is one of the fastest pit crews in the business. Lefts are on. Rusty Wallace down and away. 18.5, good stop. And the wait for Ernie Irvin is in, too, also down pit road. Already done with the right side tires on that automobile. Going to the left. They've been in a constant battle with this team. Rusty Wallace's team is who's the fastest pit crew. Ernie's team been beat out a few times this year. He's down and away as well, back out.
18.6 on the Ernie Irvin, car number 28, as he comes out. At the conclusion of the race, the team who exhibits the most teamwork will win the Advance Auto Parts Pits Done Quickly Award. Advance Auto Parts will make a donation on behalf of the award winner and TBS to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of America. Gant coming right back in it again. Let's see if... Oh, whoa. He's got a... Now, the 7 car almost looked like he was willing to give him the motion to go through that time.
I think I would. The year Harry's had, you know, and hadn't led. And that's all he needed was to get by here. They'll both be pitting shortly, but Harry Gant does look strong amidst all of his problems.
And the 7 is on the pit road. Bodine giving up that first position appropriated by Harry Gant. Here comes the X-side number 7. Scheduled pit stop for Jeff Bodine. First time Gant has led this year is right now. Last time he led was at Atlanta.
Poetry in motion right here.
I like to see that, don't you?
I love it. I feel like a fish out of water watching these guys. I'm used to being in the middle of it.
Morgan Shepherd is pitted. Ward Burton is coming in. Sterling Marlin. Joe Nemechek is on pit road. Car number 3, Earnhardt. Randy's there.
Well, Richard Childress and Andy Petrie were just in a discussion about fuel pressure. They wanted Dale to make sure he didn't run out of fuel, so they decided to pit on that lap. Already done with the right side tires on the GM Goodwrench Chevrolet. Chassis adjustment on the right-hand side. It looks like maybe he's a little tight. They're trying to loosen Earnhardt up just a tick. He's down and away. Dick Berger.
And Harry Gant is in, and they are ready to go to work, and they're going to need to. Gant has won Pocono twice, the first time in July '84, the second in June '90. For him to win today, he is going to have to stop the smoke coming from this car. Apparently, the spoiler is all right. They have not done anything at all to the rear spoiler. It looks fine. No bolts are missing. They're looking under the car to try to find the source of the smoke. They've done nothing. 23 seconds for Harry Gant.
Rudd and Mast on pit road as you've seen Gant come out.
Yeah, there's the official looking for some fluid on the ground.
58 laps have been completed. 145 miles complete. We're through the first regular pit stops of the race. The leader at the present time, well, we'll give you the full rundown when we come back here to Pocono in a moment.
Kellogg's presents a NASCAR profile featuring Morgan Shepherd. Morgan got his current ride with the Wood Brothers back in 1992. But before that, Morgan pretty much bounced around from car to car, owner to owner, driver's seat to driver's seat. But finally, after all those years of knocking around, Morgan and the Wood Brothers team combined for a great victory in Atlanta in March of 1993. Morgan says he was born to drive race cars, and indeed he may well have been. But when you spend some time with Morgan Shepherd, you have to wonder if he might not rather be a game warden. After all, here's a guy who surrounds himself with enough different four-legged critters to fill a bowl of cornflakes. Raccoons, dogs, and cats. And you can plainly see he just loves all of them. Morgan Shepherd is a man who must take out all of his aggressions on the racetrack, because on skates, where you'll find him often, he seems just as cool as Fred Astaire. Morgan is a gentle soul who makes a pilgrimage every Christmas time to help those who can't help themselves have a holiday they'll remember. This 52-year-old mountain man from Ferguson, North Carolina, is a first-class individual on the track and off. And he got to be that the old-fashioned way. He earned it.
Okay. Well, Merry Christmas, and we hope you have a
62 laps are down. Take a look at what's happening to the tires out here. Whoa, that one's got a chew out of it, and let's find out more about it from Randy Pemberton.
Well, this is a full gas stop, what we call a full gas stop at Winston Cup Racing. This came off of Ward Burton's. This is the right rear, and that is a blister. So they were right borderline as to making it. If he had to go another 10 laps, he probably couldn't have made it, but they are definitely blistering. But I just talked to the Hoosier guys. They said they're happy. They're happy with their tires, but they are borderline as to how many laps they can run on a set. Dick Berggren?
Well, it doesn't look that way down here at Jeff Bodine's car, Randy. These are the tires that just came off his car. No blisters. The tires look terrific. Jeff said as long as you take care of the car, you have it set up soft enough, the Hoosiers ought to be just fine, and he's having no problems.
So both of those cars, there's a difference of how you set a car up.
There's quite a difference in those two cars, I know, from looking at both of them and kind of hanging around those guys. And Jeff knew he had to have a very close chassis today to get by.
So now we're down to 63 laps, 157 miles. What should we be looking for here?
Well, I think normally you see a lot of cars finish here in the lead lap, but the way these Hoosier cars are getting away here today, it's going to change some thinking on pit strategy later on. Pit road's so long here, you got to think about what you're doing in case a caution falls after that, and it's a different scenario.
Billy Strandbridge is number 47 down on the bottom. Strandbridge off the pace. We just saw Darrell Waldrop in for 29 seconds on pit road. This is the battle for third position. Rusty Wallace leading Mark Martin, working lap 64. Kenny Wallace, 64 laps complete. Bodine and Gant, those Hoosier cars, first and second. Rusty Wallace and Mark Martin, third and fourth, pretty well back. What do you think?
Well, guys, you know, we talk about how important Pocono is on gas mileage. This is like a gas station for racing. Look at this line right here. The importance of this, everybody rushing to get their dump cans full of fuel. If there was a caution to come out really quick, these guys would need to be back in the pits because they've already run some laps. They need these dump cans to get some gas put in the car if the caution would come out. But this is unbelievable. This is what racing is all about. These guys are strong. Look at this guy here, how big he is. Back to you guys.
Indeed, and those guys are, for the most part, are the free guys. They're the guys that show up on the weekend, just want to be part of the team, and they'll travel all over the country to wear those colors.
They're the free guys, and I tell you what you do, you ask them all if they ever were a track star. It's hard to run with 154 gallons of fuel on the wagon, but they do a great job, the weekend warriors.
Taking a look at the Napa rundown after 61 of 200 laps complete. And you see Brett Bodine back in that 15th spot with Jarrett. Nemechek back in 16th. Ward Burton well back. Terry Labonte in 20th thus far. As we continue to focus on the battle between Rusty Wallace and Mark Martin. They're in third, and we'll check the interval between the first and second place cars, which continue to be Bodine and Gant, and this pair running 3 and 4.
He is on the move. He's getting ready to lap Michael Walker and Jeff Gordon.
Greg Sachs has pulled himself, as you notice, back to 5th. Ricky Rudd is in 6th. Masters in 7th. Earnhardt is 8th. 9th is Ernie Irvin. 10th is Schrader. 11th is Loy Allen. 12th is Jeff Burton. And 13th is Morgan. 14th, Dale Jarrett. Then Nemechek. Followed by Brett Bodine. 16th, Ward Burton, Todd Bodine, and Sterling Marlin. Now here comes Mark Martin. You can see Greg Sachs back there and getting a ride off the back of him in the Heilig-Myers car, number 90. That's Mike Wallace. I believe he's a 90 car, I think, is a lap down. We'll check it here and see. The Heilig-Myers car. Mark Martin third, Wallace fourth. And you're on board with Rusty Wallace as he fights this number 2 through.
Good race here. Rusty's car looks better. It's not as tight as it was earlier.
Not having to work that wheel nearly as hard as he was.
Yeah, you can watch his hands. Mike Wallace is 1 lap down.
Greg Sachs pulling up here a bit. Interval from second to third is 15 6/10 of a second from Gant back to Martin. As you watch some more of the fields, there's Strickland coming by. See Ricky Rudd here. There's Earnhardt's colors. Ernie Irvin coming through. The Hamilton car. I've been given a call to that number 40. Good race driver, that number 40. Bobby Hamilton. He is not having the kind of day he would like.
I don't think anybody is unless you're on Hoosier tires. I tell you what, this could make a long day for a crew chief when somebody's already got a 15-second lead after a green flag stop. Knowing when you pit, you need 4 tires, and you can't afford to do it, but you're going to have to do it.
32nd position on Hamilton. Let's go back to the STP Pit Center.
Well, Ken, lots of activity here at Pocono and really all over the country at Major League Auto Racing. The Week in Auto Racing brought to you by Auto Week, America's only enthusiast weekly. First, let's show you some of what happened here yesterday at Pocono. The Sportsman cars took to the track yesterday afternoon for the Associates the Gatorade 150. Off the start, Russ Galindo and Douglas Bennett crashed together. Bennett in the 86 there knocked the fuel cell awry. That led to a caution, and the driver of the 4 car, Wally Fowler, was able to take the lead. He looked to be the winner, but he was disqualified for having an illegal car. That gave Marty Ward the lead and the victory yesterday. A little later on in the afternoon, the ARCA cars ran 150 miles here in the Associates Financial 150. Jeff Purvis started 15th. He led a long way. Pole sitter Tim Steele was expected to give him a good run. They were 1 and 2 late in the race. Purvis faked the pit stop, stayed on the track. The race ended under caution, and Jeff Purvis was the winner yesterday. Then last night, the Busch Grand National cars at South Boston, the Ford Credit 300. We got a glimpse of Kenny Wallace buying the front straightaway wall earlier. He had a tough time. Dennis Setzer, though, in the Alliance Auto Chevrolet, came around and took the lead from Ricky Craven. Dennis Setzer in the Alliance Tractor Training School car, picking up his first Busch Grand National victory of the season in the Ford Credit 300. And we are also going to show you, I'm told, what happened with qualifying. The IndyCar is running in Toronto today. Robbie Gordon, his first ever IndyCar pole. Nigel Mansell, first Penske car, only qualifies third. Al Unser, Emerson Fittipaldi, and Paul Tracy, those 3 drivers start 3rd, 4th, and 5th a little later today at Toronto. Now, we certainly want to tell you about Auto Week magazine, something you can pick up. Auto Week has a special offer just for NASCAR fans. Call 1-800-851-2600. You'll get 52 weeks of Auto Week for only $17.95, the lowest price ever, $80 off your newsstand price. Don't put it off. The offer expires tomorrow night, Monday at midnight. Call now. Get Auto Week every week.
Congratulations to
Jeff Bodine is your leader at Pocono over Harry Gant. We're working toward the 100 lap mark, 70 on the board. We'll be back on TBS.
With 72 laps complete here at Pocono International Raceway, 180 miles in the Miller Genuine Draft 500. It's a dogfight for the lead between a couple of Hoosier-shod cars. Jeff Bodine and Harry Gant still 1 and 2. They're running side by side moments ago. But the big question here, as you see them continuing to lap the field, is the big separation between these Hoosier cars and the Goodyear cars.
You know, they just got past Kyle Petty there, and I know that's a good Goodyear car. That's what I'm saying. You normally see 15 or 20 cars here at least in the lead lap, and we could see early on that's not going to be the indication today.
19 cars at the present time in the lead lap at lap 73. Here's the war up in front. Bodine and Gant, both anxious to get themselves into that victory lane area here at the start-finish line.
certainly guys that no one has conceded this race to anybody that's wearing Hoosiers today, but Mark Martin's crew chief Steve Meal just came over the radio in a joking manner and said, Mark, you're the leader of the Goodyear race anyway.
Well, that's about a second behind the leader of the Hoosier race up in front. Hoosier shod car Bodine won the All-Star race down there that Winston selected Charlotte, but the last official Winston Cup victory for Hoosier, 1989, the Daytona 500 with old DW. And there you see the Kyle Petty car that just got lapped, number 42. They were hoping to get straightened around today. They're on the tail end, and you saw those leaders sweep them up, Bodine and Gant. Martin stays third, Sachs is fourth, Wallace fifth. Now there's Grissom in the 29. Remember, he had trouble, if you're just joining us early in the event, and has rejoined the field back in 40th position. He only has 54 laps completed, as opposed to those leaders up there working 74. Here's Terry Labonte's car, number 5. It's having a fair day. Labonte worked his way up through the field, still looking to turn some things around. And his new Rick Hendrick ride is in 20th position, being shown 1 lap down to those leaders. And here's Wally Dallenbach, who had a good qualifying run for the STP folks. Still trying to turn their hopes around. Car number 43, the Richard Petty team. They have had it tough all season long. They've missed several races now. And this performance here is not all the way up. They're 21st on the field as we see him working lap 75 at the present time.
Well, with 11 Hoosier cars out there, 21st is pretty good right now for a Goodyear car, as dominant as the Hoosiers seem to be.
We talked about Jeremy Mayfield taking over the Finger Hut number 98. Derek Cope went into the T.W. Taylor car, the 02. He continues to try to stay out here in this Winston Cup racing. He's 23rd on the day, a lap down, and there's Michael Waltrip. Had that great second place in the June race of 1988. Came from the very last row today in this one, and has been working his way up through. But he too has been caught up in this Panzer attack by the Hoosiers up in front. Jeff Gordon, he's gone a lap down in the DuPont car. You really got a big separation, but you still got a pretty good race up in front between Bodine and Gant. The question is, will those tires carry them the distance to 200 laps?
Well, I tell you what, if they would have had a problem, it should have been already, because the racetrack was green, and we get the overcast weather at all. It's just going to help their situation. And if it does go green, people could be in serious trouble for staying in the lead lap, even the likes of Dale Earnhardt and Ernie Irvin.
Bill Elliott running in 26th position today. Let's bring in Chuck Bound. Your thoughts about how this thing is sugaring off between those Hoosier-tired cars and the Goodyear cars today, Chuck?
Well, you know, what is it? It's about the 17th race of the season. And, you know, Hoosier's still winless. But I tell you, that first one of the year could come here today at Pocono. They're looking awful good, no doubt about it. But, you know, the cream still comes to the top. And the strong cars, the strong pit crews, you know, that are still hanging in there, not too far behind. A lot can happen between now and the checker flag. So we'll just have to wait and see.
Saw the Maxwell House car, number 22 of Bobby Labonte. That car is running 27th on the field. And Tim Steele has rejoined the race in car number 12. I understand Bobby and Judy Allison were home this weekend watching. The car was doing a little better out here, Robert Vance, but he's out here giving it a good show and plenty of laps down. He was in the garage area for some time. He only completed 63 laps. Tim Steele, who took over from Chuck Bound after that horrible crash he had here in turn number 1 back in June. New colors on that car. Jimmy Henning and company, hoping to have a good day for Bobby, and it's not working that way. Now here is Sachs's car, number 77. He stays third in this race, and that old U.S. Air T-Bird is flying today.
Yeah, good run once again to Hoosier tires, and I just looked, Ernie Irvin's more than a half lap down.
That comes as a bit of a surprise to everyone here. They really were saying before the race, all through the garage area, yeah, it's going to be a great start for the Hare, but the Tortoise is going to be there after about 50 laps. Not the way it's working out at all.
Not the way it's working out at all. It's really surprising when you see a tire that fast that it doesn't back up once the race begins.
Ted Musgrave has just repitted car number 16. We told you his story earlier. He was in for some 40 minutes And he has now completed about 43 laps. He's just running for points. Here's the number 6 car of Mark Martin in 4th position for Jack Rouse. And right behind him should be car number 2, Rusty Wallace, as they lap the Allison car with Tim Steele at the controls today. Boy, that's got to be hard on Rusty Wallace and company when they realize that the other guys, those Hoosier guys running first, second, and third, are still drawing away from his very best effort. Rick Mast is just behind Rusty Wallace, running in 6th position. Mast is on Hoosiers.
Yeah, if it goes green, they'll lap the field.
That'll be some different from what we saw back here in June and any other race this year.
It's going to be a record, I guarantee you.
Yeah. It's been a long time since you've seen that kind of thing in a Winston Cup racing. You got to go back to when you were getting started.
Yeah, that is a long time, Ken.
You remember some of those races where guys would be 3 or 4 laps down, fight their way back? Remember Richard did it? Bobby Isaac did it?
Yeah, I was with Richard. We were 8 laps down at Dover, came back and won one time. We were 4 laps down with Rusty, 1988, won Charlotte and Rockingham.
You saw the Lake Speed, car number 15, still out there trying to get himself a real solid run today. Give you his position on the Lake Speed car. Well, we're going to go back up front for just a moment. And still struggling out and back at 36 is the car of Jimmy Spencer. Let's go to Dick Berggren about these leaders.
Well, some interesting stuff going on here in terms of the Hoosier tires and the teams that are running it, Ken. We just intercepted a radio conversation in which Leo Jackson just radioed to his driver, Harry Gant, that Jeff Bodine would like to slow down a little bit, and maybe Harry ought to lead some laps. There has been remarkable cooperation here this weekend among the Hoosier teams. Bob Newton, who owns the company, said this is his best shot to win a Winston Cup race. So Jeff Bodine has been telling people what they ought to run for springs and shocks and all the rest of it. Look at this. We got 2 Hoosier cars hooked right up front. But I'm going to tell you what, don't count Goodyear out yet. There have been 16 races in 1994. Goodyear has won 16 of them. So this thing ain't over yet.
Dale Earnhardt, 18 6/10 of a second from going a lap down to cars numbers 7 and 33. That with 81 laps complete. But the smoke continues to come up a little stronger out of car number 33, and we'll have more on that story when we return.
Hey, race fans, Budweiser asks, who won? November 17th, 1985 at Riverside International Raceway. His victory here ended a 21-month drought. All the top finishers led for at least some of the 119 laps in this nearly 3-hour-long race. Terry Labonte and his Piedmont Chevrolet, the number 44, won the pole, and he used it to good advantage throughout the drama, which went 311 miles. But Labonte got no concession from any other driver. Here's season point leader Darrell Waltrip moving to the head of the pack. Waltrip and Labonte ran side by side for a good length of time. And then Ricky Rudd in the 15 car took the lead. And you certainly wouldn't want to forget Dale Earnhardt. Not only did he take on Labonte, but also Harry Gant. But who won? Here's the list of contenders, the winner, when we return. If you chose Ricky Rudd, you're right. Here's how the event unfolded. Bill Elliott had won 11 super speedway races that year, but he was out of the running early. A bolt sheared from his transmission in the 6th lap. The lead changed hands 15 times at Riverside. Even though pole winner Terry Labonte was out in front 5 of those 15 times, he couldn't hold on when a patient Ricky Rudd made his move on lap 96. Rudd held on for the remaining 24 laps, beating Labonte by less than half a second to take the checkered flag. Who Won is brought to you by Budweiser, the king of beers. For that crisp, cold taste, nothing beats a Bud.
Working the 86th lap, they'll completed 215 miles when they come by this time as you watch Jeff Bodine in first and Harry Gantz, number 33, for the first time in the past few laps, backing up a bit. He's dropped back about 10 car lengths as you see them put a lap on Brett Bodine. Here's number 33 showing a lot of smoke out of the back of that car. Let's go to Dick Berggren for more on the story.
And we'll ask the car owner what's going on. Leo Jackson, what's all the smoke from in the back of your car?
Well, you know, I really don't know. I would speculate probably a valve cover gasket or maybe a tail shade seal.
Well, they're ready to fix both of those if necessary in the next pit stop.
And that should be coming very soon, Barry Dotson.
I'd say in about 8 to 10 laps since these schedule stops. Some of them are beginning now.
Brett Bodine just coming on to pit road. Another story that we'll be covering is the UAW GM Teamwork of Excellence Award. UAW and GM will award some $5,000 to the race team who exhibits the most teamwork in today's event. The winner of today's award will be eligible for the $50,000 year-end prize. And we're right back to another green flag pit stop series. Brett Bodine, the first man in with that car number 26. They're running 17th. We were talking about Lake Speed a bit ago. He is in 27th position on the race. Didn't give you that. Wanted to catch you up on where Lake was running. He is in 27th. Average speed for the race is at 143.7. The all-time Pocono 500-mile record is a 144. That was the late Alan Kowicki back in 1992. On board with Jeff Bodine as he's putting a lap on John Andretti. Just mowing them down.
Mowing them down. Like I said, they're getting that contact patch down. You got, I believe, 6 Hoosier cars right now in the top 10.
Jeff Bodine, what can you do specifically to help your fuel mileage here in this 500?
There's a lot you can do. Gearing is probably the biggest thing. Run overdrives. You can run it in overdrive, save fuel. You don't turn the engine as many RPM. You don't use as much fuel. But you also have to work on the engine, camshaft. Have the right cam. That's very efficient. Maybe not as much power as you want, but it's more efficient because, yeah, you look at the stats of this race. I think more races have been won here by fuel mileage than any other way.
Let's talk about that with Barry Dotson for a moment. Now, what would you do to get your car more fuel efficient as we watch Jeff Gordon in here on this pit stop?
It's like Jeff was saying. You'd pull a taller gear. You stay on the gas, off the gas. You're real gradual with the gas pedal. I know that's a lot of it. Darrell does a lot of finesse. You have to be a good, smooth driver. And if you'll notice, the cars that get the worst gas mileage normally, Dale Earnhardt, Rusty Wallace, and Ernie Irvin.
Yeah, right. I guess everybody gets the point there. You're watching as car number 24 comes back on the track. He was in 25th position when Jeff Gordon pulled into the pits. And remember that he had gone a lap down. At the present time, we have 15 cars in the lead lap. 15 and 15 only. Bodine, Gant, Sachs. And as you take a look down through the field and these Napa standings, and look at car number 33, Gant moving back in another time on car number 7, Jeff Bodine.
This is amazing. And I tell you the sad part, they're going to pit for gas. They don't need tires. And if this thing goes green, they put 4 more tires on. They're about 8 seconds right now from lapping Dale Earnhardt.
Very close to putting Dale Earnhardt a lap down. What a day for Bodine and Gant. And Harry Gant may be smoking a little out there, but that car doesn't seem to miss a beat.
It's probably, like Leo said, a valve cover. It could be a cracked oil pan. The problem you've got here, that problem cropped up early. And that car only holds about 15, 16 quarts of oil.
So, prediction?
Prediction? If he makes it, it's going to be close. I hope he does.
Car number 43, Wally Dallenbach in 19th position is pulled onto pit road. Jeff Burton has just brought number 8 in. Terry Labonte brought in number 5. And Ernie Irvin is on pit road, the 28 car. There you see Ernie in that Haviland Texaco machine. There's the rest of the field, and you see the Wally Dallenbach car in there as well.
And a loose tire.
Here's Randy.
Well, the Ernie Irvin car is in. They decided to take about a half a round of wedge out of his Ford Thunderbird. They're waiting for Rusty Wallace's arrival on pit road. Already done with the right side tires on Ernie's car. Lefts are going on. Making sure they get every ounce of fuel in that car. 20.5 on that pit stop. Pretty good.
Good pit stop indeed. Getting him back out. The Ernie Irvin crew. Here comes Rick Mastin. Rusty Wallace comes on. Kyle Petty.
Hood coming up on the 42.
Riding with Rusty Wallace into his pit area. Remember, he's running in 6 at the present time, and Randy's there.
No radio communication so far as to what they were doing. Last time in, Rusty dropped a pound of air pressure in the right front, 1 pound, 2 pounds in the right rear. There was no communication as to a chassis change this time. Rights are already done. Todd Parrott and the crew working down and away. Wow, they are fast.
Here's Harry Gant scooting down to the inside. That's first place for Gant. Bodine to second. See if Bodine's getting ready to pit this time by. Mike Wallace getting lapped in the Heilig Myers number 90. There seems, and Greg Sachs, number 77, has been running third. He comes onto pit road, and the car number 6 comes in as well, Mark Martin for fuel. Randy is there waiting on car number 6.
Steve Neal and the crew waiting for Mark's arrival. The car was fluttering the last lap. They said, get the ether, because they were concerned. Now, I talked to Jack Roush in Loudon, said they're working diligently on gas mileage, because if you run out here at Pocono, especially going down the front stretch, you could be in deep trouble trying to get around. Right side tires already on. Steve Neal, the crew chief, works on the left front, trying to get every drop in. They do. He's gone.
Nice pit stop for Mark Martin out in 19-1. Nemechek also on pit road now. Hutch Strickland back in another time. Mike Wallace has brought his car in, and here's Greg Sachs, and they're holding him.
Oh, man, that hurts.
Must have been too fast down pit road. That does hurt. 65-mile-an-hour limit on pit road today, and exceeding that was Greg Sachs in number 77. That one does hurt. 92 laps when this pit stop action takes place. 230 miles into the running of the Miller Genuine Draft 500 from Pocono, Pennsylvania, live on TBS today as Ted Musgrave gets back with the program. Harry Gant stays out there, rolls away from the field. Get these pictures from the Advanced Auto Parts aerial platform, and there'll be more after these messages.
The Miller Genuine Draft 500 is brought to you by Advanced Auto Parts and by Kellogg's Corn Flakes.
Promotional fees and consideration have been paid by Advance Auto Parts, home of PDQ, parts delivered quick. By Exide, for great starts every day. Replace your old battery with a powerful Exide battery, available at Montgomery Ward stores. And by Finger Hut, value direct to you. Welcome back to Pocono International Raceway, nearing the halfway point today, and Harry Gant being shown in the lead, although pit stops are going on. I want to tell you about the official directory of NASCAR and Winston Cup Racing. It's the complete guide for you at home as you watch our events on television. It has all the information you need, track directories, full listings of the cars, the drivers, the team sponsors, places for you to keep score, lots of information about the racetracks and the teams, a great way to keep track of all the information you need here as you follow the Winston Cup season. Toll-free numbers, you can get up-to-the-minute race information, all by picking this up. It's only $19.95, and there's a toll-free number for you to call to order, 1-800-RACE-345, 1-800-RACE-345. Get the official directory of the Winston Cup Series.
Well, thank you very much, Rick Benjamin, and here's your leader. After those pit stops, completing lap number 96, 240 miles this time, and it's Jeff Bodine back in front with Harry Gant second, Mark Martin third, Rick Nast is fourth, and Rusty Wallace is in fifth position. After all that pit activity we saw, you're riding with Jeff Bodine leading in that Exide battery car, and let's, as we watch him tooling around the racetrack, check in with Randy down in the pits as to what happened in that green flag pit stop situation.
Well, Jeff Bonine's crew stuck a half a round of wedge in. They're just trying to tighten them up just a tick. They put on 4 new Hoosiers, filled it up with gas, and I did inspect the right rear, guys, and there were a couple of blisters on the right rear of the Hoosier. Just very fine, very faint, very small, but I did see them. They were there. So we'll just have to see how it plays out the rest of the day. Nick Berger?
Down at the other end of pit road, Harry Gant was trying to stretch his mileage. He won here in 1990 on fuel mileage. He wanted to go as many laps beyond Jeff Bodine as he possibly could. The crew encouraged him to go further. Gant said, no, I'm running out of gas. He brought it in, and the engine sounded like it was out of gas when he got here. They got the thing fired up, and off he went. His tires looked fine, but I also saw a couple of blistered Hoosiers. Cope had a blistered right rear, and Loy Allen had a blistered right rear Hoosier as well.
So there's the story on some of what's gone on. Let's go further back into the garage area now and check with Kenny Wallace. Kenny?
Yeah, guys, I'm listening to this. You know, it seems to me that Jeff Bodine and Harry Gant got the cars really set up nice. The guys that can keep the cars from rolling over on the right rear are going to keep them from blistering. So, I mean, I'm seeing a lot of patience here with Harry Gant. He's very content to sit there and ride with Jeff Bodine. You know, Jeff Bodine's somewhere in his mid-40s. Harry's in his early 50s. These guys are just hooking up and trying to run away from the field.
Bodine, the winner in 1990 here at Pocono. And again, right now, looking just great. Gant had himself a win here in 1984 over Cale Yarborough. And DW in 92. That was a great struggle to finish between Gant and Walter. Looking further back on the field, take a look at Rick Mast. What a day he's having, up to fourth in those Hoosier tires. Rusty Wallace is in that 5th position. And you see another one of those Bodine kids. That's Todd. And Butch Mockcar, number 75, is moving right along here. We'll give you a spot on him. He's running 19th at the present time, a lap down. The average speed on the race is staying right at 144.5, so we could be in for a new record not only for this race, but if they keep this pace up, they'll break Alan Kowicki's mark from a couple of years ago.
That's right, Ken, and that's because we haven't had the cautions, but even more so, the lap times are so quick.
You saw that number 2 car, and it looks like it's acting up again, as if he's got a push developed another time.
Well, he made the change he made a while ago. He let both right side tires down. That was to get more grip. It may work, it may not. They also put a round of bite in the car. I saw that. And the change that they made on Jeff's car, the 1 round of bite, was a good move because it'll take weight off the right rear tire that's heated up and move it to the left rear. So that was a good move.
Barry Dotson, any other thoughts after you've watched this round of pit stops?
Well, I'm sure with the Hoosier tires, that they said a few of them had blisters. They will start dropping this air pressure. They didn't want to do that to begin with because the recommendations are borderline.
We're coming to halfway in the event this time by. Barry Dotson alongside. And car number 42, Kyle Petty, was in for about 5 laps a few moments ago. There's the Earnhardt, number 3. He's about to get overlapped. He's 1 9/10 of a second from having Bodine and Gant gobble him up. We can get a report on what happened to Kyle Petty, I believe, right now. Randy?
Well, it's going to be Dick, Ken.
Dick,
I'll
okay.
tell you what, it is the most frightening problem a race car driver can experience. Kyle Petty's throttle leakage failed, and the carburetor stuck wide open. So they brought the thing in, they fixed it, took him 5 laps to do it, but now Kyle can slow down by letting his foot off the gas, which he could not do before.
He's running back in 36th position. He lost 5 laps. Boy, that puts your heart in your throat, doesn't it?
It doesn't take you long to get in the pits, I guarantee you, when that happens.
Turn that key off.
Yep.
Now, Kyle is back out there after that pit stop to fix that throttle linkage situation. So we're halfway in the event. Bodine and Gant, they are just running this track ragged, about to lap Dale Earnhardt. More in a moment.
Jeff Gordon, the young gun from Indiana who came south 4 years ago. And the great Dale Earnhardt, 2 of the most talented drivers on the Winston Cup circuit. Dale now a seasoned champion with 62 victories and 6 Winston Cup titles. Jeff, the talented young challenger, who won 1993 Rookie of the Year honors and just took his first victory at Charlotte in the Coca-Cola 600, and this is sophomore year. The Winston Cup careers of these 2 driving greats have revolved around the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Dale Earnhardt won the Coca-Cola 600 in 1993, and then Jeff Gordon followed his path to victory lane in 1994. Action Packed has created an exclusive Champ Challenger card set honoring Jeff Gordon and Dale Earnhardt. This special edition includes 42 3D embossed spot UV coated cards. Call 1-800-338-6016 to order yours today for only $29.95. The first 1,000 buyers of the Champ Challenger card set will receive absolutely free a Jeff Gordon prototype card valued at $30. So call now, 1-800-338-6016. Action Packed. Limited cards, unlimited action.
On pit road, he had been running 3rd, Rick Mast in car number 1. Some problems under the hood, had a great run going. His best career performance was a 3rd place finish this spring up at Rockingham. Looks bad for him today.
He had a great run going, and it was a bad sign there when you see smoke, and then he started slowing over the tunnel cone. They got the hood up on it now.
Randy?
Yeah, they're not in any hurry, guys. They're forcing some fresh water in through the radiator, and Rick's got the engine turned off. It definitely went way, way up. The temperature skied on it, and that's about it. You know, they'll probably fire it back up and see if he can ride around little ways, but he's going to be in trouble the rest of the day.
Bodine and Gant stay 1 and 2, and with Rick Mast coming out, that means that Mark Martin will move to 3rd and Rusty Wallace up into 4th. Take a look at this battle here. Here you see Earnhardt in the number 3. Schrader is there, but they're getting lapped at this point. They're about to be lapped. Here comes Bodine in the number 7 and Gant in the 33. Sweeping down through, about to move in on Schrader. Boy, they're just slicing up this field today.
Yeah, when he gets to Dale, it's going to be worth watching.
On board with Jeff Bodine. Moving up on Lake Speed in the 15. Guns him down. Now he comes looking for Earnhardt. Lake Speed back there in 15th position. Ward Burton in the 31. He is running a lap down in 13th position. And he hooks a ride on the back of car number 7. Ken Schrader pitting right now. Schrader is in. And let's see if those two, Bodine and Gant, are going to put a lap on Earnhardt right here. Remember, Earnhardt was the winner a year ago.
This is on schedule for Kenny.
Something to miss on Ken Schrader's car. Jeff Bodine has led 75 of the 106 laps that we put in the book. 200 laps the distance. There you see Morgan Shepherd's number 21. He's in 11th. Earnhardt right there with him. And here comes Bodine. A year ago, it was Earnhardt winning this race, pulling down to that great moment at the end, honoring Davey Allison and Alan Kowicki, remembered with prayer on that victory lap. Today, fighting to stay in the lead lap is Dale Earnhardt, the number 1 man in the nation in the Winston Cup point battle. We'll take a moment and show you the full running order through the field to get to the halfway distance. Earnhardt about to be overwhelmed by that car number 7.
Ward's right there, too. He's trying to get his lap back. If Jeff gets by, Dale Ward will be right behind him.
Harry Gant stays second. At 21 and 3, they are in a battle for 10th position out there. That's not what they want to be battling for.
You know, we're starting to see some overheating. It's a hot day up here, but that's not the only problem. When you're in the middle of a tire war, that means these tires are softer than they normally are, so they wear out. That means there's one place for them to go, or 2 places. The first place is on the racetrack. The next place they go is plug up your radiator. So you got to keep your eye on the water temperature all day, and I'm sure that's part of what's happening here.
You must have to think a lot as a crew chief about where you're running. Here you are up in the Pocono Mountains. You're down at Dover, Delaware. You're at sea level. You come up here, you're at 1,400 feet. What does that do to you?
Well, you have the capability here of running more compression than you normally do. Like you say, we're sitting here at 1,400 feet. At the level of competition right now, everybody's engine is on edge. But you can come up here, you can put a little more compression in that thing and really go for it.
Ooh, Harry Gant's number 33. Sliding out of control, spinning. This is in the turn 3 area into the grass. Caution is out. Lap 108. Harry Gant, second place rider. Something amiss. Car gets loose, ends up down in the grass. And coming to the line, car 31, Ward Burton got his lap back. He snuck under Dale Earnhardt. So Ward Burton is back in the lead lap. Gant brings number 33 on pit road, and we'll take another gander at that and see what developed on Harry Gant's number 33, who was having such a great day. Here's Dick Berggren.
Well, he's on pit road right now, Ken Squire. The engine on this car is silent, and there's an absolute ton of smoke coming out from both under the hood. The cockpit is full of smoke. The crew is looking under the engine to see what's wrong. He obviously couldn't have blown it up completely because he didn't drive it in here. Now they've just found a potential crack in a piece of aluminum that may well have led to the loss of oil. There is enough oil on this car potentially to have caused Gant to lose control of it. Crew under the hood trying to fix it. We've apparently also got a frayed line.
they're working on the front of the problem. Oil cooler bypass, maybe it. They are working in that area right now. We'll look at a replay before we go to commercial here. See what happened to Harry Gant in car number 33. Oh, a lot of smoke coming out of it there.
Yeah, he found
that
his
looks
oil
big
leak.
time.
Yeah.
Gotten his own oil.
He found his oil leak right then. Whatever it was probably got worse.
We're way in the pit control center here, and I believe I can smell some of that hot oil as he rode by the pit road here. It's that's too bad. Harry was running awful good, but you know, that's just what breaks are racing.
It smolders. And I think Harry may smolder a little on that one. He had such a good day going. Harry Gantz, number 33, they're still working on it, trying to get him back in, but it will be a different 33 when he returns. Taking a look at the Sears Craftsman upcoming TBS Winston Cup races. Saturday night, September 10th. Join us at the great Richmond Fairgrounds, Richmond, Virginia, the Miller Genuine Draft 400. It is spectacular. It is thrilling. You won't see better racing anywhere than you see in Richmond, Virginia, on that track that has the feel of a super speedway and of a short track at the same time. Then October 9th, it's the Mellow Yellow 500 from the great Charlotte Motor Speedway in North Carolina. That's what's coming up.
You know, I think we got a race again here now. They were going to lap the field, meaning the Hoosier cars, and Dale Earnhardt's the one that got lucky right there. And I know Chuck Bound's been in this situation before. He was about 2 car lengths from being lapped, and he was going to go on up there, and he was going to get Rusty, and then he was going to get Ernie. But we got almost half the race left, and it'll be hard to lap the field again, but we got a race. What do you think, Chuck?
Well, I agree with you, Barry. Reminiscent of last week, Dale got a lap down and unfortunately got the lap back and come back and just about won the race. So, you know, lots can still happen. It's going to be interesting. Another break with Ward Burton. He's been running good all day when the race started. And again, he was staying up with the leaders, but a lap behind for many laps just before that caution happened. So he'll be charging up through the pack now that he's at the back of the pack, but on the lead lap, and he'll be one to watch too, along with a bunch of others. It's going to be exciting.
Well, it's going to be a moment or two before we get back underway. They oiled down turn 3, or Harry Gant did pretty well, so we'll take one more break and be right back with you. We're at lap 111 here at Pocono International Raceway, 277.5 miles.
Plenty of folks hoping that Jeff Gordon is a future Winston Cup champion. Welcome back to Pocono International Raceway on TBS. Great to have you with us today. Rick Benjamin, Chuck Bound here in the STP Pit Communications Center. 112 laps on the board. We're under caution. One of the stories we're going to be following here today, who puts on the slickest move of the race, the liquid wrench slickest move. All of our commentators today watching these cars and drivers in action. At the end of the day, we'll select the slick move for you here before we leave the air today. Who do you like so far? Who's pulled the slick move in the early going?
Well, Jeff Bodine's been awful consistent and awful strong, but slick moves, I think, of those guys getting lap backs.
Yeah.
Or saving their laps anyway. So it's a long way from over to call this one, I think.
Dale Earnhardt comes to mind, certainly. One driver had a great run going today, standing by with our Kenny Wallace.
Well, guys, we're with Rick Mast. Rick, you were running awesome, running up in the top 3. Started a little bit about mid-pack, and you were there in no time.
Well, you know, I tell you, I don't know how much Jeff and Harry and a couple of those guys lead and were holding back, but what we would do, we'd try to run the same speed they were running, just to try to conserve our tires and wait for a caution to get caught back up the leaders. I never once run my car as hard as it was go. I tell you, the thing was really awesome. If we'd ever got a caution, if I could got caught up with Jeff and Harry, then we'd have seen what we had for them, you know. The car was awesome. We lost a cylinder, so I don't know, man.
Well, as we're talking to Rick Mast, we just watched Harry Gant go by, so 2 Hoosier cars are out. Another story we got, NASCAR used to penalize teams that would roll their tires out after a pit stop. If they lost their tires at roll across pit road, they'd penalize them $100. I just watched a NASCAR official, Buster, roll down 3 Goodyear tires. They take the tires now. So in other words, if you're in a pit stop and you lose the tire that rolls across pit road, they take it now. They don't fine you.
That's a little steep, isn't it?
Yeah, that's more like $400.
Let's go to Dick Bergman.
Well, Harry Gant's crew has had a good deal of work to do. They've had quite a mess to clean up underneath the hood of the number 33 car. They went after it with various chemicals. They wanted to go out. NASCAR said, no, you guys have to do a better job than that. They opened it up again with a whole bunch of towels, working on the hood to try to get the car clean enough so NASCAR would let them go back out again. Randy?
Well, we talked earlier about Dale Earnhardt dodging a bullet. He certainly did. Takes just about a minute to get around this racetrack, and Earnhardt was about 4 seconds from going a lap down. That caution flag saved him. He gets to come around. They did come in. They topped off the fuel just about a lap ago. pulled the front fenders out just a little bit, bumped up the spoiler. So as Barry was saying before, I think we're going to see a race now. As we get into the later portion of the day, I think it'll close up just a little bit. So we could see somebody possibly challenging Jeff before the day's over.
Well, Jeff has it all his way at the present time. Rusty Wallace on Goodyear's is in second. Mark Martin on Goodyear's comes to third. You saw Jack Roush in the shot just a moment ago. Then you have Jeff Burton in fourth, Greg Sachs in fifth, in sixth Ernie Irvin, in seventh Morgan Shepherd, eighth is Rudd, followed by Ward Burton, and 10th is Earnhardt with Nemechek showing in 11th spot. 112 laps complete, gives you 11 cars in the lead lap. Continuing to clean that track up out there. I guess there was a major oil down. Gant has gone 1 lap down, 1 lap to the leaders. Harry Gant after that excursion off turn number 3. Let's go to Kenny Wallace.
Harry, what a farewell tour. You and Jeff dominate. Looked like you guys were just riding along there trying to break away from the field.
Yeah, our crew had a super car here today. Hoosier had a super tire too, boy. And we were just, he would radio back and tell my people, let's cool it a while. And, he had a lot left, and, I'm sure he could have went on. And we was content to run like we were, but a piece of debris kicked up off the racetrack off of Jeff's, or the 31 car, one of them, and went through my oil cooler, and it blew the oil, knocked the oil cooler off, and it dumped all my oil on the racetrack. It saved the car, but trying to get oil back in it and get back around the track, the bearings came out.
Well, Harry, you couldn't have put on much better in show. Congratulations on a good run, and sorry you broke.
Thank you.
He brought it out, gave it a couple of laps, and then he pulled it back in. And that's the end of the day for Harry Gant, and that is disappointing. I just as soon just see him keep running at any speed, but it's not going to happen for him.
Promotional fees and consideration have been paid by Heilig Myers. We furnish America. We're Heilig Myers. By Miller Genuine Draft. Get out of the old and get into the cold. And by Pyroil. Quality automotive formulas from the makers of Valvoline. For performance products, there's just one name, Pyroil.
Here's the story at Pocono, Pennsylvania. 115 laps are complete, 287.5 miles. After his best effort of the season, Harry Gant retires from this race. Had the car get loose on him in oil up in turn number 3, spun it around, brought it back out, gave it another shot, was not to work, and has retired the car. And that's the end of the Harry Gant story here today. Will Jeff Bodine be able to persevere? Rusty Wallace, Mark Martin, Jeff Burton, Greg Sachs, all lined up behind him, will be coming after him when we restart. The delay at the present time is not because of the oil down situation, but a fence which apparently some fans got to and were able to get through. And the track officials here are holding everything up while they fix this fence. You can see the area where there is a problem, and they are not going to continue until they get that fence properly put back together. Kenny Wallace can give us some information right now on the 25 car.
Well, guys, within this last caution, 3 cars have dropped out. This guy right here, Kenny Schrader, in the Kodiak Chevrolet. You know, that Wilkes-Barre-Scranton Airport gets a little crowded. Kenny jumped out of his car and was gone on the way to the airport, so we couldn't get an interview with him. But, you know, it was a tough day for him. He had some motor problems, so Kenny Schrader's out of it for today.
That's the first DNF on Schrader in the 1994 season. First time that Kenny Schrader's put it behind the wall in Winston Cup racing. Brett Bodine, Ward Burton, Kyle Petty, all back on pit road here. And here's Rick Benjamin with more at the STP Pit Center.
Well, Chuck Bonnet and I have been talking here while we've been off the air for a few moments about the track situation. Chuck, we had shown some pictures in the second turn. This is back in turn 1, where down low the asphalt had come apart. It doesn't look as though it's gotten any worse in the last 50 or 60 laps.
No, it really doesn't look like any change, but I guess turn 2 is doing all right as well. They say that the asphalt was mostly turn 1, so that's good. You know, at least 1 turn's better than 2 turns, I guess, if you have to have a problem.
It does look as though now this is going to hold up and be okay the rest of the way. There was concern that they might have to sweep the track. Hasn't been done. Looks as though we'll be ready to race here on a very strong note these last 75 laps.
116 laps, and we're under caution. And again, they're working on a fence area here, I believe in the turn 3 area of the track before they turn them loose. I think we're getting down. They'll get that crew in to within a lap or 2 of when they'll turn them loose.
Okay, we just saw a bunch of cars coming to pits. Reason being, they're inside a fuel window. We're at lap 116 right now. You look at running 38, 40 laps. They got to do it 2 more times. That's why the 3 came in. I'm sure that's why Ward came in. Both cars in the lead lap took the gamble of having to go to the back, but it could pay dividends.
Earnhardt in 10th position after that stop. Nemechek back there as well, having a very good day in the Hedrick car. I guess we got our fence all back together and our folks back in where they belong. Apparently that was done by some fans. That had nothing to do with a race car or anything. So we're getting set for a go here. You see Sterling Marlin down trying to get his lap back. He's in 12th position. And how about Wally Dallenbach up there in 13th trying to get a lap back in car number 43.
This could be good.
Here with Bodine, and let's go on board with Mike Wallace in car number 90 and just take a look at what it's like going into turn number 1. Wallace back in that 26th position, giving a wild ride down here. It's heavy traffic, fighting his way through. Bickle just in front of him there. Nemechek.
It's a great shot.
Mike Wallace, Kenny Wallace over here today. They gave a great performance last night at South Boston. Rusty Wallace up there in 2nd position. Wallace is everywhere here at Pocono. Incidentally, congratulations last night to Dennis Setzer. Got his first Grand National victory, and he did it in style. It was a great start for the future, that Dennis Setzer. Take a look at Ernie Irvin peeling off and getting there in front of Greg Sachs in number 77. Swap at 4th position.
He's had a long day so far. The chassis doesn't look like it's very good today. And he was the one that was glad to see that caution.
On the sort out, Jeff Bodine keeps the handle on the field. Nobody getting a lap back on that jump.
See the Hoosiers close up right there, and these are fresh tires.
And that 28 car had some tough times of recent. Lost that point lead last week. Looked so solid up there at Loudon, and then it slammed the wall, and that slammed down his effort to stay in front in the point standings for the Winston Cuppers as they come to this, the 17th race of 1994. Wallace staying 2nd, Mark Martin 3rd, Ernie Irvin the 4th, and the number 8, Jeff Burton, is 5th. Jeff Gordon in the 24. He's back in 15th position right now. With him is the Wally Dallenbach car. You see the number 30, and here comes Ricky Rudd dicing right up through the middle, lap down. It's like short track racing there at 160, 70 miles an hour as they come out of that high bank.
I think he's one of those that came in and got fuel, so he's got a good car. He's just trying to get back to the front.
Earnhardt down on the bottom with Rudd, and he's away. That car number 10. Very much in the hunt. He's in the lead lap. Rudd has been there all day. Hasn't had much of a call. Action's been up there as Hoosiers versus Goodyear's. This isn't the story now. Gale is up to 8. Rudd is to 9th as they try to close in on this thing, and they still have plenty of time to do it. Key to the race, Jeff Bodine. Tires look good when they come off that car time after time. Some others come in blistered, ripped up, not Bodine's. He's really got the right setup for this track.
Well, I guess Ricky Rudd does indeed have a good car, Ken Squire. That is the car he won New Hampshire with last week. The other thing Ricky Rudd has going for himself here at Pocono is fuel mileage. All year long, Ricky Rudd has done very, very well in fuel mileage. He's one of the few drivers that's got the fortune of having an engine with a lot of horsepower and great mileage.
The only thing is, Dick Bergen on that, but the other guy that really understands fuel mileage seems to be Bodine. He's done it a couple of times. He still has that lead. And, of course, Earnhardt in number 3, just in front of number 10, dodging that bullet from getting over a lap. That was the big break for him, allowing Earnhardt to get back in here and hustle back with these leaders. Ricky Rudd in car number 10. stays in the lead lap. And take a look at this one. Here's Wallace for second place. Mark Martin pulling up. You see Jeff Burton in it.
Burton strong.
Boy, is Jeff Burton strong. That Stavola car running its best performance of the year. Ernie Irvin out a little. Mark Martin comes back to the inside. Greg Sachs right back in there again in the US Air 77.
Yeah, you saw Ernie work the 8 car across the back like that. When you do that, it'll get a car loose, but not that one.
Rusty Wallace again trying to win his sponsor's own race, the Miller car. For Roger Penske out here today. Fighting in second place to hold on to that is the Ray Vestas car, number 8, closes in another time. Fords, the top 4, top 5 positions out here. Give it the top 6, including Irvin. Even 7 with Morgan Shepherd. Morgan Shepherd back there in 7th. Fords have won the last 5 races in Winston Cup racing. Looks like it's going to continue here today, Barry Dodson.
That's a Ford racetrack. It has been for many years, and as dominant as they are right now, it certainly looks like it's going to happen.
What makes it a Ford track?
Well, it's exactly perfect for the torque curve. And that, I mean, the Chevrolet motor has torque. It has horsepower. The torque in the Ford seems to pull a little longer, 400 or 500 RPMs longer. And it really shows up down this long straightaway.
That's where you are right now, riding with Rusty Wallace down this 3,740-foot straightaway, leading into the 14-degree banking of turn 1. There. Snaps it up a gear.
There was your shift right there.
And as he does, down on the inside comes Mark Martin to challenge him.
Mark must have outshifted him.
Irvin coming with Martin over the tunnel turn. Wallace stays just in front. All of this for second place.
Rusty's tight. His car's tight again.
Rusty Wallace dropping back a position, now dropping another one to Ernie Irvin. Rusty Wallace, how do you like your chances of winning the points championship as you continue to close them down this year?
I'm planning on winning the thing. I really feel like I've got a better car than a couple of the guys ahead of me at certain tracks. The 28 to 3 are a lot better than me at Talladega. We're going to race hard everywhere else, and all I can do is just give it my all and hope I get it.
That's how he won the championship before. He was 319 points behind leader Irvin going into Loudon last week. He came out 241 behind Irvin, another 4 behind Earnhardt. Snuck out there in front. Here's Irvin and Wallace in their own personal scramble here today.
Yeah, you can see right there where Rusty's tight. Ernie kind of pulls out on him.
Back over the front of the field. Bodine in first. Jeff Burton in second, and he's drawing away a bit. He's got himself about 10 car lengths in what had been a 5-6 car battle for second place. Then in the third spot, here comes Mark Martin, followed by Irvin. Here you see Wallace. Right behind him comes Sachs. Here comes Darrell Waltrip. Dale Earnhardt in the number 3. Correction on that one in 8th with Rudd back there in 9th. And let's not forget that Ward Burton stays right there in 10th. He's in this lead lap as well. And Nemechek. Darrell Waltrip has had a terrible day. He's back in 36th position, many laps down. Thing never came right for him.
36 laps down right now. There he is.
Inside Waltrip's car, the Delco telemetry showing you why he's not up among the leaders.
Yeah, it's
talked about a broken shock that kept him back. Can't get the RPMs, can't get the miles per hour to make that thing go where he wants it to today.
Yeah, that's about 170 right there. In the corner.
Yeah, and Chuck, let's talk to Chuck Bound about that. He look at those RPMs out there. What would he want them to be if it was wide open and running where he would wish it?
Well, these Winston Cup race cars, they turn them pretty hard, and I think here at Pocono they'll run them 8,700 pretty much all day long. Now on the front straightaway, you may not see maximum RPM on the tachometer because they do shift to fourth gear, which is unique. It's the only oval on the Cup circuit that they shift every lap, all the cars out there. They go to fourth gear just past the start-finish line, and when they let off and break down for the first turn, they downshift back to third gear and leave in third gear all the way around the rest of the racetrack. So actually you're making most of the lap in third gear, but they just overturn the RPMs too much in the front straightaway, so you go to fourth and for the last one-third of the front stretch.
Former winner here in 92, Darrell Waltrip, the Western Auto car, not having much fun at all. 126 laps, 315 miles complete. Following Mark Martin in third spot, Ernie Irvin in fourth, Rusty Wallace in fifth from the Advance Auto Parts aerial platform here in the Miller 500. .130 laps complete, 141 mile an hour average, with Bodine in first, Jeff Burton in second, Mark Martin third, Ernie Irvin is fourth, Rusty Wallace fifth, Greg Sachs, Morgan Shepherd, Ricky Rudd, Ward Burton, and Joe Nemechek round out the top 10. Dale Earnhardt has fallen to 11th position. Still showing 11 cars in that lead lap with the 12th place car, Sterling Marlin, one down, followed by Wally Dallenbach. Here's Burton, who moved away from that second place battle and is going after the leader, Jeff Bodine, and let them run through as they come into turn number one, led by Martin for third, Irvin, Wallace, Sachs. In the lap car, it's Sterling Marlin. Look at Joe Nemechek still in, having a great day.
Yeah,
Hedrick car, number 41, that yellow and black car.
Great run for him.
We'll take a look at the Autolite race story thus far, if you just joined us. Catch you up to date on how it began. Ward Burton off in the beginning. Jeff Burton got in there. We had a short caution early on in the race. Jeff Bodine just took over for a while. Rusty Wallace got a short shot at that lead, but it was Bodine, for the most part, fighting with Harry Gant over and over again, getting up there, swapping that lead back and forth as those two cars on Hoosier tires seem to work together to pull away. It's the story of what's happened thus far in the race. The various leaders in the event. It's been a Bodine Gant Hoosier story from the outset. They came in here, put the front two rows together, all with Hoosier tires, and it still is Jeff Bodine, who sat on the pole leading, and Jeff Burton right there. He was in that second row. His brother Ward was the outside of the front row when it all began. And there's the other guy, Greg Sachs, who had that great qualifying run. Greg Sachs in the 77, now showing 6 in the lead lap.
You can see in there where Ernie led a lap too, and he and Dale are running about the same because of the tire situation, but that'll be 5 more points for him.
Earnhardt in the number 3 car on the tail end of the lead lap. And perhaps Randy can give us more on car number 3, the Richard Childress machine. Dale Earnhardt at the controls. Randy?
Well, Richard Childress, I know you've come in a couple of times, bumped up the spoiler. Is the car loose, and can you do anything to help him?
Right now we got it a little bit too tight. He went on the spoiler a little too much, and it's just killed the engine right now. He's lost about 300 RPM. So we're going to adjust on it again on the next stop.
Anything you can do about getting to the front? Jeff's awfully tough on the Hoosiers.
Yeah, they're really dominant today. You know, what can you say? Today's their day.
Dick Bergman?
And I'm with Steve Mills. Steve, is there anything you can do in this situation? You're running third, but they're running away from you.
Yeah, they're driving off right now. You know, they got a little advantage on us, looks like. But we have a lot of faith in the Goodyear tires that we're on. We're hoping in the long run we'll be a little bit better. But so far, they've been pretty stout. Our biggest job right now is to hold off what's behind us. Ernie and Rusty are coming. There's going to be at least 2 more fuel stops. Got a long ways to go, but the guys out front got us covered right now.
Indeed, they do have them covered. Rusty Wallace trying to fight off the 77 in the main straightaway. Greg Sachs right there. They trail the leader, or leaders, by 6 seconds. Pretty good fight still goes on between 21 and 3 on the tail end of that lead lap. 10th and 11th spot here
The Wood brothers, Sitko, number 21, and Earnhardt. Last cars in the lead lap, 10th and 11th. Some different from a year ago when Earnhardt just motored away from this field there.
Yeah, and he looked very, very good final practice yesterday. And he's strong today. Like Richard said, they got a car a little tight right now. You put the spoiler up here too much, and it just kills all your momentum and straightaway speed.
Brings it all the way down, just can't get it back up.
Yeah, 2 or 3 miles per hour easily. I'm sure they'll make that adjustment the other way when he comes in.
Closes in on Morgan Shepherd, wants to take one spot back. You see Ward Burton just behind them. Here they are on the main chute. 135 down, 65 laps to go. It's Pocono, Pennsylvania, where Hoosier Tires may be making some history here today. Jeff Bodine and now Jeff Burton running 1 and 2. We saw Jeff Burton just motor away from a pack of 5 or 6 cars, fighting for second place. We've got the 28 car in trouble, going down that short chute. Long Pond straightaway. Ernie Irvin's car coming off turn 1, just backed up.
That's a bad sign to be that slow that far away.
So a week ago, he had it all going his way at Loud, and he ended up, what, 30th? And now again today, with all these cars still running, it's going to really cost him in that point battle. 2 races in a row.
Yeah, if he's going to help the he could help these Goodyear boys by not making it in here. He should take the road to the left right here.
Ernie Irvin's number 28 came off the pace just as it entered turn 1. Look for a moment. He may not bring it back. A 3-time winner. Now the 1994 season, Ernie Irvin in trouble, trying to bring it home.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about. I don't think he's going to make it here, so that'll definitely bring out a caution.
136 laps complete. You think that's on his mind?
Well, you never know.
Yellow comes out. Caution is out. So that's a break for those Goodyear guys to get back in there again. Ernie Irvin, who had an outstanding run in the early going, last 5 races, has had his problems, and we'll talk about it when we come back. Pocono, Miller 500, Bodine leading. Back with you again at Pocono, Pennsylvania. Pit road under caution, everybody coming in, and the Ernie Irvin car has just arrived there. Take a look at what happened just a moment ago down here. You watch Mark Martin's number 6 coming out. Look out, here comes Rusty, and here comes number 7 having to take real evasive action, Jeff Bodine. Don't tell me that's not a Goodyear Hoosier war.
It's amazing the job those guys do in the pits.
Lucky Rusty that time, and lucky Bodine as well. To Dick Bergman.
Well, Ernie Irvin is in the pits right now, Ken, and they're working on the distributor of his automobile. He has had problems with engines. Last year, he failed to finish both races here because of engines, and in the June race here, he had an ignition problem. Right now, they're checking to see if the timing chain or potentially the camshaft may have broken. They're working on the distributor. They've got the cap off. As you can see, just about everybody on this team has got their head under the hood, including Robert Yates, and he is in charge of the engine room.
Take a look at the point standings here. Earnhardt came in, moving out in front at Loudon, New Hampshire for the first time with Ernie Irvin in second. Ernie had a 7th at Pocono, a 7th at Michigan, dropped his cylinder, and finished on 7 cylinders at Pocono and Michigan. Daytona, got a good second place finish there. New Hampshire crashed late in the race, and now today, looks like another motor problem. This one looks serious. See if he can get back out. That car did crank up and did come in under its own power. Number 28.
Here comes Dave.
Earnhardt on the pit road. Randy Pemberton waiting for him there on the end of the pit road all the way down. Under caution at lap 139.
Earnhardt is in. I'll tell you what, guys, they came in under the last pit stop. They dropped the spoiler down. Look at this. They're going with 2 wedge wrenches. They said they're going to get radical now and try to fix this car for him. They talked to us before about the car being tight. They're trying to loosen it up. They bumped the spoiler down. Wedge wrenches going both sides of the car. Barry Dotson, what do you make of that one?
Well, it looked like they were raising the back of the car possibly and lowering the spoiler. You couldn't tell really the way they were going opposite ways. So it wouldn't change the bite in the car for the diagonal. It's just that they were changing the frame height there to probably help the straightaway speed.
Yeah, you know, Dale, he knows what he needs. And when they make those adjustments, you can bet he's going to be a little bit stronger and a little bit faster now.
Let's go to Kenny Wallace.
Okay, guys, we're here in the pits, and what we're reporting on is these war wagons. You know, when the guys are trying to finish these races, then they get in a wreck, and the points become really important. Here's Morgan Shepherd's spare oil cooler, spare steering box, and a complete front-end suspension component, dry sump, upper lower A-frames. So when these guys get in a wreck and they need to get back out there, this is what they call the war wagon, and Barry Dotson can definitely tell you that this is what you need.
Yeah, you gotta have everything that you need right there, right then. You can't. Oh, 28's rolling back. They need more than a war wagon for that one.
Yeah, when you pull that distributor cap off to see if the rotor button's turning, and it isn't, it's normally a broken camshaft, and you can't fix it.
Here's Dick Berger.
Well, the problem is a timing chain, and I'm going to tell you there is no joy in Ernie Irvin's pit right now. He is done for the day. They are not going to attempt to fix it. What that usually means is valves have bounced off pistons. They're done.
Yeah, you wouldn't have time to fix this sort of problem.
When it's good, it's good. When it's bad, it is a nightmare and has been here for over a month. I'm going to lose like 100 points today.
That's going to hurt
a big hit.
Yeah, big hit.
Here's Earnhardt back in again, and that number 3 as they continue to work on adjustment.
Yeah, let's see what they're doing here. See if we can figure it out. Air pressure.
They're going to go ahead and drop the air pressure, at least in the right rear, I guess is what they're working on, Barry. But I talked to him just a minute ago. What they want to do is give them as much rake in the car as they can legally with dropping the spoiler at the same time. So who knows? But that's about as radical as I've seen this team in a long, long time, going with 2 wedge wrenches in the rear of that car.
10 cars remain in the lead lap, and that 10th car is number 3, Earnhardt, trying anything they can to get themselves in this thing.
Well, they're a championship team. You know, that's been proven. And when you're beat, you got to do something. And they know they're beat so far, and they're just trying to help the car. And you can help it. The proof's in the pudding last week. He was on the verge of being lapped, almost came back and won the race. So that's proof right there of a championship team. Always trying.
I'll tell you, there's another championship team we need to talk about. The Stavola brothers have decided to help all those folks who've had their lives turned upside down by the huge flooding in Georgia and Alabama and Florida. They're putting together a stock car racers flood relief effort. You're asked to bring non-perishable items to drop-off locations at Charlotte and Atlanta Motor Speedways, Darlington and Talladega and Daytona in the next several days, starting next Wednesday, the 20th, to the following Thursday, the 28th. Burlington Motor Carriers, major trucking firm, they're going to put trucks out. They're going to gather up all these goods that stock car racing fans are going to bring to these locations and transport them to the Red Cross where they're needed down south. Jack Flowers and Speedway Scene newspaper helping put this together. So hats off to the Stavola brothers for helping folks who are very much in need at this time.
They are a great bunch of guys, those Stavola brothers. And, of course, they've had a win at Talladega, but it's a long time between wins for them. Let's hope they have a good day today. We're ready on a restart. They're taking 141. Board showing 141 laps as they head down to turn number 1 back under green. There you see Sterling Marlin, Jeff Gordon trying to get a lap back as you see Bodine square it off right on the bottom of the racetrack. Let's go to Kenny Wallace.
Well, I'm here with Ernie. Ernie, you've been really tough all year long, and you broke a little bit here. So what happened?
Hey, Rusty. Oh, I mean, Kenny. Evidently, we broke a timing chain or something, or a camshaft or something. Not real sure, but kind of put it in third gear down there in turn 1. It was like the battery was shut off, but all the electrical still works. So it's a bad day. We just have to get ready for Talladega next.
Well, Ernie's taking it in stride on his way to Talladega, and it's a tough break.
You had a tough break, didn't you?
Yeah, man.
As the field comes around. Yeah, he saw that race last night, too. And he sure did have a bad break. On this restart, Wallace in front, Martin in second, Bodine back there in third. sure he'll try to wheel up through. You've got a couple of Goodyear cars, first and second, then a lap car, and then you see Jeff Bodine. Bodine third, Jeff Burton back there in fourth, Greg Saxon fifth, Nemechek sixth, Ward Burton seventh, Ricky Rudd looks eighth, and then you see Morgan Shepherd ninth, Earnhardt 10th. Here's Sachs moving up under the 24. Take a look at the running order through 140.
77 looks like they might have a problem.
77 backing up big time. Greg Sachs, who was running fifth. That one goes to pieces.
Place is hard on them the last 100 miles.
Car number 77. Greg Sachs having an excellent day. Sees it end at 1:43 apparently. Best finish this year was at 6. Headed it to Daytona, and he equaled that mark to Talladega. Look at Earnhardt. Let's see if all that work on pit road made any difference for car number 3, Earnhardt. Down, Sterling Marlin in 11th. Jeff Gordon is in the 12th position. Bobby Labonte is 13th. 14th is Todd Bodine.
Well, I was in the 77 pit when that happened, guys, and they pretty much just started putting the brooms away and the tools away. I asked them what happened to it. They just said it broke, so they don't know for sure, but he's done for the day. It's on the garage.
Guys, when that happens, just seem to, as business as usual. You load up those war wagons and head off. How do you feel inside? It was down there with the Allisons when they lost that car that Chuck Bound had at Pocono back in June, and just go about it as business as usual. But you got to be torn up inside.
You feel badly about it. Like Kenny Schrader's run today, that's his first DNF, and the sound of those air wrenches. I just heard those things unwinding. That's a terrible sound. You don't want to hear that at all.
You saw the Dallenbach car. It's staying 18th in this show, one lap down from those leaders. Riding with Jeremy Mayfield in Cale Yarborough's car number 98. He's up in 21st position, giving it a good run today.
Looks like the work they did on Dale's car has paid off so far.
Yeah, he's staying right in there. Before it was backing up. Now he's holding his own. Question is, can he start to move forward? Try to overcome Wallace, Martin, Bodine, those Burton boys. There's your leader, Rusty Wallace. Line second, Mark Martin. What, 1.5 fuel stops or what they put in the last time?
Yeah, right now the...
full stop and a half a stop?
Yeah, the fuel window is not in the picture right now. If we get a caution around lap 160, it'll certainly be a fuel race.
So it gets right back to what it usually is here at Pocono, a fuel race, and here you see Mark Martin closing in, going for Rusty Wallace in the lead, and with him comes Jeff Bodine. Martin to first, Bodine to second. You've got rookies out here in this race, running magnificently. Jeff Burton fourth, Ward Burton fifth, Nemechek. He's up there in sixth spot.
Yeah, just made a great move under Jeff Gordon coming off turn 3 up here. He's had a good, solid run all day.
Well, there's the first time that Mark Martin has led in this race. On board with Jeff Bodine. First and second.
Jeff's just watching him here. He's getting ready to make a move.
Long Pond straightaway.
Yeah, they've run long enough. The Hoosiers are getting ready to kick in here, I believe.
Goodyear car in first, Hoosier in second. When they lined up at the outset today, Hoosier had their name on the side of tires from 1 through 4. And Barry Dotson was saying before it all began, it's the old tortoise and the hare. Those Hoosier tires, the hare out there, the tortoise for the moment, is up there with them. Be an interesting outcome when this one's over. Working lap from 148 to 200. Put 370 miles on the record book. Average speed is and tilted down to 134 miles an hour. Second, fourth, fifth, and sixth on Hoosier tires. That may change right now as Bodine gets in there. Here comes Wallace back. Wallace takes a handful, and he goes up through.
They cut Burton off there. Jeff was coming along, too. That was a good move by Rusty.
Jeff Bodine first. Mark Martin second. Rusty Wallace third. Jeff Burton fourth.
I think you'll see the 8 car make a move on in a few laps here.
You can credit Jeff Bodine with 109 laps out in front today. That's the 6th time he's pushed that number 7 car up on the point.
Got to feel good being a new owner driver and being competitive right off the bat. Like you said earlier, winning the Winston Select down there, that's a premier race, and looking like he might win this thing here today.
Well, have you ever faced doom and not wanted to think about it? That's the situation going on in Mark Martin's pit right now. Early on in the race, they started recording around 30 pounds of oil pressure on the gauge that's on the dash. They're saying, we think the gauge is bad, but we're not positive. Our sponsor's product's pretty good, but 30 pounds is not enough oil pressure to go all the way on this thing.
Holding fast right now and moving to the inside quickly. Here comes Jeff Burton. Barry Dotson, you called that one. Here he comes looking for a shot to get under Wallace, and Rusty doesn't want to give him anything.
Nah, he never does, but I don't think he's going to have much choice here. There he goes. See you later, Rusty. He's not going to give up. He's going to dog you here.
They make it look so easy at those tremendous speeds. As you watch it live, the Miller Genuine Draft 500 at Pocono, PA. Rookies are the story here right now. Jeff Burton back into 3rd spot in the Stavola Brothers Ray Bestis number 8 T-Bird.
Both those are great guys. Just a pleasure to know and be around every week.
This kid in number 8, the current Winston Cup rookie point leader. Had the top 5 finish. Had a 4th down in Atlanta earlier this year. What a run he's giving this car as he goes for a Winston Cup victory, no less than that at the present time. Bodine stays first. Mark Martin in second. More in a moment. 150 complete.
The Miller Genuine Draft 500 is brought to you by Peerless Faucet and by Split Fire Spark Plugs.
One of the nicest days for racing we've seen at Pocono International Raceway in quite some time. About 85 degrees today, sun shining, and a full house of fans enjoying the Miller Genuine Draft 500. Hope you're enjoying the broadcast today on TBS Sports. Rick Benjamin here in the STP Pit Communications Center. I want to remind you about the official directory of NASCAR and the Winston Cup Series. It's certainly something you'll want to have at home. Full information about all the speedways the series visits, about the teams, the drivers, all the points of interest if you're going to visit one of the racetracks. And it's available to you right now by calling our toll-free number, 1-800-RACE-345. Only $19.95. Get your order in for the official directory of NASCAR and the Winston Cup Series. Winston Cup driver Chuck Bound with us in the PCC today. Less than 50 laps to go. Strategy-wise, if you're on Hoosier tires, what are you thinking?
Well, I'm almost thinking right now, it doesn't matter what you're on, there might not be a caution from now to the end of the race, and you need track position, you need to run hard, you need to keep up. Now, Jeff Bodine's so dominant, maybe he can leave a little bit in reserve to take care of those Hoosier tires, but all the rest of them, except maybe Ward or the other Burton brothers, they might be an exception too on the Hoosier tires, but those Goodyear guys got to go.
There's been a lot of talk the last several weeks about 2-tire pit stops late in the race. Think we might see that today?
Very well. You know, I don't think there's going to be a whole lot of laps to run when they do come in for that fuel window. I think it's very, very likely we could see that today.
Caution on the speedway. Car number 9 in trouble. Drops to the bottom of the track. Looks like the day is over for Rich Bickle. His 9th start of the career with Harry Melling. And they're bringing down another caution flag. That would be caution number 5 this afternoon. It comes out at lap 155. 154. 154 is the lap they're putting that one down for. That is the 5th caution of the day. Let's take a look at the pass that happened a moment ago between cars numbers 8 and 6 for second place. Bodine out in front. You see Mark Martin on the outside. This is going to the first turn. Goodyear car on the outside, Hoosier car on the inside, and there is Jeff Burton up to second spot where he is right now.
Yeah, we called that one. It seems like for about 10 laps, it's a pretty good race, and after that, the Hoosiers just take over.
Well, we'll have to see here. This is going to throw out the strategy again. 155. That gets us inside the window to go home?
Not quite.
Half a tank?
Well, they need to get to lap 160, I think, to even gamble it. And I don't think the caution will be out that long. Although the 9 car stopped up in turn 3. He didn't make it in.
So Harry Melling's car number 9 comes to rest up there. Rich Bickle just waiting for some assistance. The question is how long before they get started. It will have a major, major impact on the finish of this race.
Promotional fees and consideration have been paid by Western Auto, the official auto parts and service store of NASCAR. By Liquid Wrench, non-flammable with Teflon, thousands of uses around your home, shop, and car. And by the Official Directory, your own personal guide to racing.
Well, Rusty Wallace was in, Mark Martin as well. 4 tires for each. 1 round of bite taken out of Rusty's car, so they're going to try and loosen him up a little bit. And that's about it as far as up at this end of pit road for the Goodyear cars. Dick, what do you got?
Well, Mark Martin took 1 round of bite in the rear end of his car. He took 4 tires and off he went. It was a great stop. It was 19 seconds, but 2 cars beat him out. Jeff Bodine was one of them.
157 laps now complete. They get close to that window of 160 to get them home. Rest of the field coming in right now. Todd Bodine leads them in with Sterling Marlin, Dale Jarrett, and the rest. It'll be another lap at least before we turn them loose. Let's go and take a quick break here and then get back as we prepare for these final 43 laps to be run today in the Miller Genuine Draft 500.
Welcome back to Pocono International Raceway, the mountains of central Pennsylvania, the Pocono Mountains from our Advanced Auto Parts aerial platform here on TBS. Rick Benjamin back with you at Pocono International Raceway in the STP Pit Communications Center. About 43 laps to go. Still Jeff Bodine out in front, and we are under caution once again. UAW and General Motors team up to build some great automobiles. Now the UAW GM Teamwork Campaign has teamed up with Pocono Raceway for quite a sweepstakes. And 3 finalists won all expense-paid trips to come to the race here today. Before the start of today's race, those 3 finalists drew entries, randomly picking an entry ball marked with a car number of the field today. Of the 3 cars chosen, the car that finishes highest wins $10,000 for the finalists. They're the 3 gentlemen who had the lucky numbers. Second place takes $7,500, and the third place car gets $5,000. And it's just one of the many things that go into making racing here at Pocono so interesting. One lucky finalist with a little luck, in fact, might win $1 million if the second entry that the winning person picks today finished first, second, and third today. If they hit the trifecta, so to speak, there's $1 million prize up today from UAW GM Teamwork and Pocono International Raceway. Randy Pemberton, what's going on pit road?
Well, we're questioning right now, can any of these guys make it? It's lap 158. I do know this. Ward Burton's team has just come over the radio and they say, we're going to top that thing off when they give you the 1 to go sign. So that'll be like lap 159, lap 160. 40 laps to go, where they said, Ward, whatever you've ever learned about drafting, do it, because we're going to try and go the rest of the way without stopping again. Dick Berggren?
Well, Jeff Bodine's guys say they cannot make it, Randy. They're going to have to stop for fuel. They say it's about 3.5 seconds worth of fuel. That's about 6 to 8 gallons, roughly. Can't make it on what they've got now.
If you want to gamble on somebody for mileage, take a look at car number 10, Ricky Rudd, back in 9th position at lap 160. Yes, indeed, they're on their feet and cheering here at Pocono, Pennsylvania today. 100 miles to go at lap 160. This is the biggest crowd they've ever had at the Pocono International Raceway for this July race. And they were here early today. We were out here about 7 o'clock, and the place was already packed. Traffic was backed up, and they've had a swell time. And this one is going to go right to the wire. Again, it's going to become a fuel battle. Take a look at Ricky Rudd right there in number 10. Now has his own team, that RPM team. They're fresh from victory at Loudon, New Hampshire. could pull another one off here today. Up in front will be Jeff Bodine. You know, the last time, looking at the book, the last time they had a pole winner win this race, 1983, Tim Richmond pulled it off, Barry. That was one of your cars, wasn't it?
Yes, it
83?
was.
Yeah.
It sure was.
Remember that one?
Oh, yeah, he was the master of Pocono. I think everybody knows that. And that was a good week for us. You never forget those days. We had a great time, a great talent.
Let's talk about Ricky Rudd for a moment. And what a job he has done this year putting together a brand new team. Was it something extra special last week winning at Loudon for you, Ricky Rudd?
I tell you, it was awful big. It rates right up there with probably our first win way back in 1983. And winning as a car owner and just being able to have a group of people together that put this thing together from very little bit to work with in the beginning and to victory lane. It's been an enjoyable last couple of 6-7 months.
Well, I've just talked to Billy Engel, crew chief for Ricky Rudd. I said, can you guys possibly even make it from here? And he said, there's no way. We definitely can't make it. And even the guys that have just come in and topped off, they can't make it either. But what they have done for themselves is lessen the amount of time that they will need to stop under green to dash fuel in the car. So if it would have been a 4-second stop, maybe it'll only be a 2-second stop. That could be a position on the racetrack. But Billy Engel said there's no way they can make it from here.
That's the key. And the three that came in were Nemechek in the 41 made that pit stop. The 31, Ward Burton, came on pit road, and Morgan Shepherd. Those are the three that came in here and topped their tanks just before we get set to go green once again. When they take the green flag, 160 will come up on the board. 40 laps to go. Underway with Bodine in front, Rusty Wallace second, Earnhardt third, Martin fourth, Jeff Burton in fifth, Ricky Rudd in sixth as they tear down into the first corner.
Looks like a madhouse scramble.
Clean start and into the back straightaway. It's Jeff Bodine trying to bust away from the rest of this field in a hurry. Mark Martin trying to find some running room. And here comes Rudd working with Bobby Labonte in the number 22. Ooh. Back off that one a little.
Yeah, a little bit impatient there, but he knows he's got to get to the front. This is a dash here.
Jeff Burton, number 8 to the inside. Jeff Gordon in the 24. He's back a lap down in 10th position. Michael Waltrip from dead in the rear, the last row today. That number 30, that Pennzoil car in 13th position. Chuck Ryder's team has got to be elated about the performance they're getting out of Michael Waltrip in number 30.
Done a good job hanging in there. He's well up in the points race.
And look at this search for position and speed over the tunnel turn. On board with Jeremy Mayfield, car number 98, the Fingerhut car, shown 20th on the field. Lap down. More than a couple of laps down. On board with Rusty Wallace. Through the gears. Down that long straightaway in second place. Watch him as he goes into turn number 1. All the way down to the grass. Shifts again. Comes after Bodine.
Now he's got a 380 gear. When he gets over back on the front side and shifts into high, he'll have about a 364.
Just as tall as you can. Can you pull this whole 3,700 foot straightaway with that gear?
Well, you can, but you might end up like Ernie. And he can't chance that being where he is in points. He knows the quick way.
Earnhardt staying third. Mark Martin fourth. Rudd fifth. Jeff Burton sixth. Nemechek. Ward Burton eighth. Morgan Shepherd up in there. Some pretty good unicalm. I mean, if Jeff Bodine can pull this off today, if you sit on the pole and win and it keeps collecting 2 races, be $30,400. I think the last time it was won, it was right here on this track. Rusty took it.
Well, Jeff Bodine's leading this thing, and I'm going to tell you there's a lot of people in the grandstand who are certainly cheering for him because Jeff Bodine's career parallels this racetrack. He was the very first guy ever to come here with a modified and test. He ran the first USAC stock car race here, and what a story that was. It took him 2 cars to finish. The car he started with blew an engine just as they threw a red flag for rain. They held the race off for a whole week. Jeff got into another car. USAC let him do it. He finished 10th. He's won twice in Winston Cup cars. I'm going to tell you, he's got a lot of fans in this grandstand who watched him here since the first shovel turned dirt at Pocono.
Originally came here and it was a 3/4 mile. Montgomery folks had the track. Had a lot of great modified races on that 3/4 mile.
Well, all I can say is Dale Earnhardt's got to be amazing because of all those adjustments they made on that car before. I came down to the crew. I said, has it helped at all? They said, nah, not really. It's about the same. So, I mean, that guy just can flat out drive. I mean, he is hustling that car around the track.
Well, I got to think that that improvisation that we saw where they just threw the book away and decided to make some changes, take some risk out there and see what they could do to make it better. So far, it's worked. That 2-car draft up in front, he's just barely outside of it, but he's staying right with them at this point. He's going to make a race out of this. Earnhardt's around. You got yourself a race.
Yeah, he'll be there for a little bit. We need to see what happens. Like I said earlier, about 10, 15 laps, it seems like Goodyear start backing up. So we'll see if the adjustments have helped him.
Well, last week at Loudon, Dale Earnhardt proved why he's a 6-time champion. But it sure wasn't easy.
Well, we were off pretty bad at the start. We'd put a different gear in for the race than what we'd practiced with, and the car was a little tight from the middle off, and we worked on the car. And in the middle of the race, I said, hey, guys, we need to build a new race car for here. This car is about a 3-4-year-old race car. I said, we need to, you know, come with something newer and try to get around here better, but we was having a tough time.
Yeah, well, you know how that tough ride, that tough time finished out with a second-place finish a week ago behind Ricky Rudd. Further back, Jeff Burton closes in and shoots by the number 6 of Mark Martin. That puts number 8, Jeff Burton, up to 4th. Earnhardt 3rd, Wallace 2nd. Jeff Bodine leading. Lap 166, now complete. 415 miles have been run of this 500-mile contest. Coming up, Richmond, Virginia on a Saturday night, first week of September. Join us here on TBS. Under the lights, it's fantastic action.
Right there where the Hoosiers work the best, off the corner, they drift and they move out and put some distance like you just put on Mark right there. Mark's not giving up at all, but Jeff's got his sights set on Dale Earnhardt. Let's see how long it takes to run him down.
Here of just how much ground that number 8 car has to make up to catch Earnhardt in the 3. Black cars. Story here. Earnhardt, for the moment, trying to fend off the leading rookie, Jeff Burton, and Mark Martin in number 6.
Right there, you see it?
Just jumps.
Just jump out there. They're getting a better forward bite.
And the other black car, Rusty Wallace, in the 2 right now. Ernie Irvin has retired, if you're just joining us. Going to cost him dearly in the point battle. Here's Rusty Wallace, still scrambling, still fighting. Get himself up for a run on Jeff Bodine, the leader. The pole sitter today for the Miller Genuine Draft 500. .168 laps when they come around. Heeling them off here now. With Bodine first, Wallace second. 30 laps, 75 miles remaining to be run here today in the Miller Genuine Draft 500 as Earnhardt closes on 6. But the big story is Jeff Burton just motored around those 2. Jeff Burton up into 3rd spot, And closing on Rusty Wallace. Here's Ward Burton's number 31. He's also on a roll. He's in 6th position in closing. And as Barry Dotson explained, once those Hoosiers begin to take hold, those guys look like they're jet propelled out here this afternoon. The Burton brothers and Bodine mixing it up with Wallace, Martin, and Earnhardt. 3 Hoosier cars and 3 Goodyear tired cars fighting it out here at the finish.
You know, Rusty's kind of catching Jeff, but the sad part is the other Jeff's catching Rusty.
Yeah, there he is, Jeff Burton, in that number 8, closing right down on Rusty Wallace in 2nd spot.
That's a Goodyear sandwich right there. Rusty's driving awful hard right now.
Goodyear's the meat in that sandwich, is what you mean, right?
Yeah. 2 excellent tire companies.
Well, Jeff Bodine, looking for his 15th win, has stayed out in front lap after lap. He's had a great performance here. But look at Ward Burton coming on. Ward Burton is also just chewing up this field, closing in on Earnhardt. These 2 kids who cut their teeth at South Boston, Virginia, where Dennis Setzer won his first Grand National race last night, really giving themselves exactly what they deserve. Great finishes. You're going to see them all the way up in top in time to come. They're going to be winners in Winston Cup racing for years into the future. Kids really move. They started out in karting. The number 8, Jeff Burton, currently leads in those rookie points. But look at Ward Burton come on here.
They've won in everything they've been in, Ken. 2 great rookies. And it's amazing that here they are racing together. Both of them made the Winston after being in the Winston Open, so that was a pretty good indication right there of what kind of talent they are.
I believe their dad's up on the roof watching. I'm not sure how he breaks his allegiances down between these 2. I bet it's right down the middle.
Well, he started off on the roof. I hope he's still up there. I know he's excited.
May have jumped off by now.
I gave Ward a tip or 2 this morning to do to his car. I hope he did that. Great run for him. I was kind of worried about him in the tire situation.
Ward Burton clearing ground, closing on Earnhardt for 5th position. Here's Ricky Rudd. Still stays there in 7th, and Nemechek showing some smoke out of the Hedrick number 41, that Meineke car. Getting a rundown after 71 of 200 laps complete, back through the field, 171.
I'd say in about 1 more lap, the 8 car is going to get the 2.
He is closing him down. Here you are for 2nd place. Motors scattered. Mark Martin blows up in the main straightaway big time.
Maybe the gauge wasn't bad.
We talked about that 30 pounds of oil pressure earlier, and all of a sudden, the engine on 31 is scattered down the main straightaway. Now they're going to have to race back to the line. Hope nothing came out through the pan on that one.
No caution yet. They're trying to see if he can make it.
No caution being shown around the racetrack. Big explosion out of the Roush, car number 6.
Let's see if he
Apparently no caution to be shown.
Yeah, let's see if he turns in the backside. Right now, they got just enough laps left for Rusty to really give Jeff a fit if they stop and get tires.
Coming around to complete 175 this time. Bodine well in front. Jeff Burton in 2nd, and there's Rusty Wallace in 3rd. And pulling the car right off the racetrack is number 6, Mark Martin. It expired. It's gone. Let's take a look and replay at the end of Mark Martin's day.
All right, here he comes off the last corner. It went up right there. And a good move by Mark, trying to get down out of the way.
Earnhardt and Ward Burton, lucky they were down there on the bottom. That move by Martin saved them.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure Mark's disappointed. He had a great run going.
Well, we'll try to get a word with Mark Martin, but that is unfortunate. And his luck continues to roll those deuces and 12s. Got to turn around for him. He certainly gave it a great run today and was right up here among the leaders until it went away. Mark Martin gone, 176 complete. Here this afternoon in the Miller Genuine Draft 500.
Promotional fees and consideration have been paid by STP, Super Concentrated Fuel Injector Cleaner. STP, drive a better car. And by UAW and GM, people working together.
Well, we're back at Pocono, and it looks like Ward Burton's just worked his way by Dale Earnhardt for the 4th position. That rookie's giving it a good run today. He and his brother both. They're doing a heck of a job.
Indeed, Chuck Bound. Hey, those guys are just phenomenal out here. 179 complete. Coming back to the line.
Rusty's got a problem.
Rusty Wallace looks like he's in trouble. The car number 2 going into turn number 1 may be and is slowing down. Rusty Wallace eases onto the bottom. There's Ward Burton scooting around him and leaving him there.
That's the history of this racetrack. The last 100 miles is brutal.
So Rusty Wallace, looking for win number 36, shifts her up. And it looks like the day is finished for Wallace. Engine going off on car number 2. And Hoosier shod cars are now running 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th out here. They're all Hoosier cars, 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah, Rusty's on the radio right now. Let's see what he does. It may have broken a valve spring or something because he did shift the car up. So it's not totally broken yet.
Was in 2nd place. He's still out there at a fair amount of speed, but it's not at race speed. Bodine and the Burton brothers, Jeff and Ward, are 2nd and 3rd. Nemechek comes to 4th. Earnhardt is 5th, and Rudd is 6th. Let's go to Randy.
Well, let's see if we can get a word with Buddy real quick. Buddy Parrott. Buddy, what happened?
I don't know. It's something I don't know, somewhere in the engine somewhere. You know, we just started hitting on all 8 cylinders. But I tell you what, it's the first time we've had any kind of problems all year long, and I'm really proud of David Evans and all those guys. And I know they're heartbroken, but so are we. Ernie's had problems, and 6 car went up in smoke. And we're just hoping we can put this thing in overdrive and finish the race. We were going to have to stop at lap 193 anyway for fuel, and there's 1 car out there I think can make it all the way, and I hope it's a Ford.
Okay, you know what they're talking about. I don't know if it's a Ford or not, but Ward Burton's team, the 31 Hardee's car, I believe, guys, they're going to try and go all the way. That's what the crew chief just told me a few moments ago. He said, we're going to try it, so we'll see what happens.
All right, Ward Burton in number 31 is in 3rd spot. There's your leader, Jeff Bodine. Jeff Burton is in 2nd. Ward Burton is in 3rd. Joe Nemechek is in 4th. And you take a look at the interval on the racetrack here among these leaders. Jeff Burton in number 8 coming through 2nd. Then Ward Burton in 3rd. And you have Hoosiers 1, 2, 3, 4. And here is Ward Burton, Nemechek right with him. Leader pulling away, but remember, he will be coming in. Jeff Bodine has said he will definitely stop for fuel. Rudd is in 6th position. Rusty Wallace falling back to 7th. Morgan Shepherd 8th. Sterling Marlin a lap down in 9th. Bobby Labonte 10th. Jeff Gordon 11th. Todd Bodine 12th. Dale Jarrett. Michael Waltrip 14th. Bill Elliott 15th. Wally Dallenbach 16th. Terry Labonte. Loy Allen in 18th. Derek Cope in the 02 ride today, the T.W. Taylor car, in 19th, and Jeremy Mayfield is 20th. 182. So right around lap 190 through 194, we may see a little more activity on pit road. Just in there to top those tanks and send them on the way. Remember the ones who came in and topped off their tanks were Nemechek in the 41, the 31 of Ward Burton right here, 13 seconds down to the leader, and car number 21, Morgan Shepherd. 43, Dallenbach is already on pit road, running in 16th position.
Yeah, that's unscheduled, I would say. I don't think Ward can make it. It's just, you know, he's got a Hutter engine in that car. It's awfully strong unless he's backing off and saving fuel. And he's not doing that. He's driving away from Joe Nemechek right now.
A couple of scores coming in here this afternoon. In World Cup at the half, Italy and Brazil deadlocked. And in Major League Baseball, the Braves pull it off, beat the Marlins 2-1. And America's team keeps on chugging. Jeff Bodine. And there you see Earnhardt's number 3. You recall that he's in 5th position. Ricky Rudd in that number 10 is in the 6th spot. Right behind them is Loy Allen. And Loy Allen's car is a lap down, being shown in 18th position.
Morgan's laying back there. You know, he won the race last spring at Atlanta on mileage, so that might be a possibility. As you said, Ken, he was one of the 3 cars that came in.
So he may be trying to stretch it. Let's get the story from the man himself as to what happened to Mark Martin.
Okay, we're standing here with Mark. Mark, you had a really great run going today. It looks like you had motor problems, Ernie, and now Rusty. Is it just the last 100 miles really brutal?
I don't know. We never have engine problems with that Valkyrie car. We broke it today. Felt like we had the class of the field in class anyway. They had us beat pretty bad on tires, but you know, our car really ran good. We had a good motor, good car, and most of the day we were leading our pack anyway.
Well, Mark Martin's always tough, but he couldn't finish today. Looks like all of the top competitors are having some problems.
And particularly it's falling in on those Goodyear guys. They're having some problems out here at the end of the race. Wallace off his speed, and we see Mark Martin out of it.
They're running with their tongues hanging out today. They have to keep up with the Hoosiers. Got to take your hat off to Bob Newton and Ford. They didn't give up. They're in here digging, and that's a scary thought, you know, just a little bit past the midway point as for what kind of second half they could have.
And
here's the 8.
Send a note. The 8 car is coming in. 8 car is on pit road. 2nd place car, Jeff Burton. Dick Berggren standing by. This is at lap 185. Burton is in.
Well, their strategy, Ken, is going to be to take 2 tires. They're going to do the outside tires on this car. Bodine is going to try to do it without taking tires, or at least that was the strategy about a minute ago. We'll see what happens now when they watch Burton. 10.29 seconds on Burton. Good stop.
Good stop.
First of the leaders in. Burton back to speed, coming up at 65 miles an hour on pit road in the Stavola brothers car. Remember that great win by Bobby Hillin? I think a lot of people forget that Bobby Allison win for Stavola back in the mid-'80s. Bobby Allison at Talladega with a great ride.
That was a little bit early. He may not have been happy with the car. That's probably the indication there for putting the tires on. I doubt if you'll see Jeff putting them on, or anybody else, maybe the Goodyear cars.
The point standings are going to get absolutely shattered today. The guy that was 2nd in points, Irvin, is out. The guy in 3rd, Wallace, is struggling. The guy that's in 4th in points, Mark Martin, he's out of it. Schrader, 5th in points, he's out of it. This means Earnhardt gets himself bigger point lead, stay out here and stay out of trouble in these last laps, continuing to run in 4th position.
It's a good race right there, Ward Burton and Nemechek. Dale's hanging in there at 5th.
And Ricky Rudd is willing to just draft off the back end of car number 3 as this race gets down to conclusion.
Yep.
I wonder if that means that he is thinking about trying to go all the way.
Well, they're beat right now. I mean, that's the only option these guys have if they aren't in Hoosier cars.
Their crew told us no, but we've been told that before. It's a tight draft. He's trying to save as much fuel as he can.
Yep.
Coming up to complete 188. We're being told that we're going to see Jeff Bodine, the leader, on lap 191, enter pit road for that final tank topper. Here comes Rudd. I think Earnhardt waved him on by.
Yeah, Dale got a little loose off that corner, and Ricky capitalized on it, made a move, but here he comes charging back. He never gives up.
Loy Allen staying right in the picture, remember, a lap down. 16 and 7/10 seconds is the difference between 1st and 2nd at the present time. Let's try to get a clocking back to this car number 10 between Jeff Bodine in front and Ricky Rudd. The difference between Bodine and Burton staying at 16 plus seconds. complete rundown after 186 of 200 laps. The Stavola car number 8 has pitted, come back out again. Long time between wins for the Stavolas. To go back to the 80s when they won with Bobby Allison at Daytona in the 400 and the 500 in the late 80s, 87, 88. Great win with Bobby Hillen, and that sensational win at Talladega in 86 with Bobby.
Well, Dale's falling back there now. Roy Allen just got mine.
Riding with Jeff Bodine. Has the field covered by 16 seconds. When he comes by this time, 10 laps remaining to be run. 25 laps. Here at Pocono, Pennsylvania.
I'll tell you, you know, Billy Engel and the side crew could be snickering us about whether or not they try it, but, you know, I don't think that they can afford to try it because of where Rudd is in points. He's either 7th in points right now, only 32 behind Morgan Shepherd in 6th, and about 107 behind Schrader in 5th. If they run out of gas going over the start-finish line, they tend a chance to lose, you know, maybe as much as 15, 20, 30 points.
The leader is on pit road. Leader is coming in. Here's Bodine on that stop. Clock set. Dick Berggren there.
Peter Gellin, the gas man, has put in about 2 seconds worth of gas, no tires. Bob Newton was here, and he played a role in that decision. He said, no tires, no tires. Crew Chief Paul Andrews said, right, that's what we're going to do. That's what they did.
3 and 2/10 seconds. Earnhardt comes in. 3.2 on Bodine's stop. The leader. Earnhardt on pit road.
And now's when you want to break that pit road speed, but you just can't do it.
Yeah, it'll cost you 15.
Tires.
With 10 laps remaining, they went ahead and go ahead and changed 2 right side tires because they need that much time as far as fuel is concerned. Right side's on, Earnhardt away. Hope they got enough in to finish.
9 seconds on that pit stop. 8.9, and Earnhardt comes back out with number 3. We understand there are some serious electrical storms that may be creating problems with our picture. It's coming out of Atlanta, we're told. There are some serious electrical storm problems at this time that may be affecting the picture. So Earnhardt is back. This pushes Ward Burton, number 31, up into the lead. Moves Nemechek into 2nd. Jeff Bodine came out 3rd. 4th is Rudd. 5th is Shepherd. Now, one of those cars is the dog in the manger. They're going to definitely try to go the distance.
Well, that's why I brought up Morgan Shepherd earlier. We need to see what those guys are up to because he's been lagging back.
Well, it's going to be interesting here to see Jeff Bodine had an extremely fast pit stop, but the deal is with that pit road speed limit, it takes a long time to get down pit road and get back out on the racetrack. So I think he's going to be a little too far behind if Ward Burton's lucky enough to make it, but I tell you, that's really stretching that fuel mileage. I just don't see how it could be done, but we'll watch and see what happens.
Seen some amazing things before. Harry Gantz amazed us from time to time. Darrell Waltrip's done it a few times.
Yeah, last November at Atlanta, we went 118 miles, and it amazed me, I know that.
Trying to check that interval right now between Jeff Bodine and Ricky Rudd. It's 4 and 8/10 seconds, the difference between Bodine in 3rd place and Ricky Rudd in 4th. Bodine has made his final stop. In the shuffle, Jeff Burton has fallen to 6th. Ward Burton leads, Nemechek 2nd. Jeff Bodine 3rd, Ricky Rudd 4th, Morgan Shepherd in 5th as you ride with Bodine in 3rd spot. And the number 8 car of Jeff Burton is 6th. Now the 7 car, getting around 41 Nemechek. Up to 2nd comes Bodine. There's the 7. Here's your 31, Ward Burton just in front of him. Wally Dallenbach sandwiched in between. Laps complete. 194 when they hit the start-finish line this time by. Leader, 31, Ward Burton. 2nd place, Jeff Bodine. That's the chase. Ward Burton out of Scottsburg, Virginia. That's the way he looks to Jeff Bodine. From on top, that's the interval between first and second. On the pit road, again, comes car number 2. Rusty Wallace back in 7th spot. Counted out of the hunt for the overall win today. Still out there, still scoring points heavily. This point battle continues to change so dramatically. 7 moving in on 31. Jimmy Spencer dives down to the bottom. The 31 stays in the lead, but here comes Bodine after.
Well, Jeff's after him right now.
Riding with Jeff Bodine as he tries to take command of this race another time. Remember, he won this race for Junior Johnson back in 1990. He's been around on the finish a lot of times. Loves this racetrack. The rookie, Ward Burton, stays in front. Bodine in second. When they come by, there will be 5 laps to go. Here's Bodine sweeping to the inside.
Yeah, he's quite a bit quicker. That's what enabled him to run him back down. Ward's car was a little bit loose back there. Now he is in a jam because he doesn't know if he's got enough fuel.
So, Jeff Bodine looks like he has him covered at this point. Got out faster than anyone else there. Apparently got enough fuel to bring it home. Here's number 10 on pit road. Randy Pemberton waiting right now for Ricky Rudd. 5 laps left to play it out in the Miller Genuine Draft 500.
Well, they're going to take in 3 seconds of fuel. They've already conceded they're running 4th. There's no way they could win this race, so they might as well make sure that they go to the end. There's 3 seconds and Rudd's gone.
So, unless something untoward happens to car number 7, Jeff Bodine is on his way to his 15th career win. His 2nd win here in this 500 at Pocono, Pennsylvania, as he gets ready for Talladega, Alabama next week. Jeff Bodine, who sat on the pole, who has dominated the event, staying in first. And Ward Burton trying to hang on to him for a 2nd place finish.
Yeah, Ward's got to be thinking save gas right now. You know, take what I can get. I'm a beat man right now. I'm ahead of the 3rd place car, but I guarantee you he's watching that fuel pressure gauge, and they're telling him to do every lap.
Barry, that's absolutely the question. You know, I was wondering if once Jeff passed him, if he would not decide to pit, considering he could not win the race at that point. Go ahead and pit, make sure he didn't run out of fuel and end up finishing 10th. But that's not the case. Ward's going to stay out there. They told him, do not race Jeff Bodine. Let's try and ride this thing out and see if we can finish 2nd. So they're going to gamble even for 2nd.
Looking for his best Winston Cup career finish. He had 4 Busch Grand National wins. Ward Burton, Scottsburg, Virginia driver, 32 years of age, staying right there in 2nd. Nemechek back to 3rd. What a day he's having for the Hedrick team. Jeff Burton up to 4th. Morgan Shepherd lies 5th.
I bet these laps are long for Ward. They're only 3, but that's 3 minutes. A lot of people don't realize that. That's a long time to be running.
Rusty Wallace now shown a lap down in 8th position. Morgan Shepherd about to put him a lap down. Battle further back in the field, this for 15th. There you see that Penzo car of Michael Waltrip that started in the last row today. He and Terry Labonte are fighting it out for 15th spot in the final moments. Back up front with Bodine coming by, and a 2-lap indicator on the field for Jeff Bodine as he hits the stripe, and Ward Burton stays with him. Wouldn't that be something for a rookie to get himself a 2nd place finish here? Hoosier cars are now running 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and with Jeff Burton, 4th. Field breaks down as a Ford in 1st, Chevrolet of Ward Burton in 2nd, Nemechek Chevy in 3rd, and the Ford of Jeff Burton in 4th. Ward Burton holding on to that 2nd spot.
He's not backing off either. I mean, he's not that far from Jeff. So,
well, there you see that interval, and now Jeff Bodine lengthens it out a little as he heads for the white flag. It's been a nail-biter here at the finish of the Miller Genuine Draft 500 from Pocono, Pennsylvania today, about to lap that 15th place battle. And look at 5 and 30, still at it. White flag is out as Labonte gives it everything he's got in his fight with Michael Waltrip. Gets in between them now. Looks to me like Jeff Bodine's willing to stay right there. Get a little bit of a hitchhike. No, looks inside, pulls back out at that tunnel turn.
He's happy there now. He's real happy there, and so is Ward.
Takes a shot in that short straightaway leading to turn 3. Goes underneath Michael Waltrip. They can continue their war for half a lap for that 15th position. But it's Jeff Bodine who's going to write the story here today. 15th career win is half a straightaway away. Down this 3,700 footer he comes. And Jeff Bodine is going to win again. Another guy with his own team has pulled it off. The Exide Batteries, car number 7, has won the 500 at Pocono, Pennsylvania, before a record crowd this afternoon. And Ward Burton, a rookie on the Winston Cup Tour, is going to come home second, 1 2/10 of a second behind. You'll meet the winner, Bodine, in a moment.
Welcome back to Pocono International Raceway. The Miller Genuine Draft 500 complete. Jeff Bodine wins his first Point Ping Winston Cup event of the year. We'll talk with him in Victory Lane in a moment. A couple of things we want to tell you about the Liquid Wrench slickest move goes to the Ward Burton team today. They stayed out. They elected to ride it out, not pit. They get a second place, their best finish in Ward's rookie season. The Advanced Auto Parts Pits Done Quickly award, though, today goes to the race winner, Jeff Bodine. That last fuel stop, less than 3 seconds on pit road, giving Jeff a chance to get back out there and win today's Miller Genuine Draft 500. He is in Victory Lane now with our Dick Bergman.
Well, Jeff Bodine has just jumped on the roof of the car and then kissed Bob Newton. What's it feel like to be a winning car owner and driver?
I wish Kathy was here. That's what I feel like. Hey, honey, you came to the wrong race. She was at the first race. You should have came here. I love you. Gonna be home tonight. We're gonna celebrate. Bob, get in here. This is a team effort, I tell you. The Exide team, Bob Newton, Hoosier. You know, he's been criticized all year long for getting back into Winston Cup racing. Said he couldn't do it. Hey, we did it, didn't we? They think you're ready for retirement. Well, what did you have to say?
How bad did you not want to make that last pit stop and just stay out there?
Well, we knew we couldn't stay out. We had to get gas, so I had to come in. But we were far enough ahead, and they had a quick stop, just a little gas and go. I caught Ward and just sat there and saved fuel. But, hey, this is a great day for Exide, Montgomery Ward, Auto Express, Napa. Hey, you know, you can buy these good Hoosier street tires at Auto Express, just like we ran today.
And this is pandemonium down here at Victory Lane with Jeff Bodine.
From the Purilators winner's circle today. Top 4 finishers, all on Hoosier here. Earnhardt leading the Winston Cup standings by 93 points over Ernie Urban after this exciting and dramatic Miller Genuine Draft 500. Back with more of the story from Pocono in a moment.
The Miller Genuine Draft 500 is brought to you by Texaco. Add more life to your car. By Allied Signals brand filters. Pay a little now or a lot later. By Chevy Trucks, the most dependable, longest-lasting trucks on the road. By McDonald's, official restaurant of World Cup USA 94. And by MasterCard, official sponsor of the 1994 World Cup.
At Pocono, Pennsylvania, today was won by Jeff Bodine in his own car. Coming in second as we look at how they finish, Ward Burton, the A.G. Dillard car. Brand new chief mechanic there. Philly Lopez did a great job, and Nemechek came home third. Burton, Morgan Shepherd, Ricky Rudd in that top 6 today. As we take a look a little further back, Earnhardt concludes in 7th. Jeff Gordon in 8th, Rusty Wallace 9th, Dale Jarrett, Todd Bodine, Sterling Marlin finishing in 12th. And it was Bobby Labonte for 13th. Michael Waltrip wound up 14th, Terry Labonte 15th, and then Wally Dullenbeck as we look at these unofficial results. Derek Cope with his new ride came home in 19th today. Jimmy Spencer wound up today with a pretty good run. John Andretti 25th on the afternoon. Kyle Petty only 27th. And looking further down,
some of the cars that expired or had trouble early in the going or midway in the going with so many cars finishing. Taking a look at the point standings, as we mentioned, 93 points now separate Earnhardt from Irvin. Wallace to third. He is closing on those two. Mark Martin in there, Morgan Shepherd. Ken Schrader drops a spot today, back into 6th position in those NASCAR Winston Cup point standings as they get ready for Talladega, Alabama, next Sunday afternoon. Want to thank everyone who helped us so much out here today in bringing you this broadcast. Dick Berggren down on pit road. Great job, Doctor. And Randy Pemberton again was with us. Nicely done. Kenny Wallace, back from the throes of South Boston last night. You were looking good. And at the STP Pit Center this afternoon, Rick Benjamin and dear friend Chuck Bound, great Western champion. Hope you get well real soon and get back on the racetrack. And to Barry Dotson, our thanks for spending some time up here and explaining it from the Chief Wrench's side as to what goes on out here in a Winston Cup race. Thank you for being with us today. Don't forget Richmond, Virginia in September here on TBS. Jeff Bodine victorious this afternoon in the Miller